Finally, I have everything that I need. Thanks to that mad poet, I have the Necronomicon and a destination, finally, to locate the forgotten city of Neruzavin. This journey will be a long one, surely across land and seas both. But after all the effort that has been put forth, after everything I have attempted over the last few years, this is the victory lap. I will be denied no longer. The black stars beckon, and I will find them. I am Count Hasserton Lowls IV, and when I am done here, no academics throughout the inner seas will forget this name. Somewhere, deep within these sands, I will build history.
Things have not been proceeding by plans recently. A lot of odd things have happened over the past small handful of days, not least of which is the appearance of this fox man.
A sagacious individual.
Who seems
quite
inconceivably effective. And yet, well, a little bit different. Out of place, perhaps, as many of us have felt since we awoke in the asylum, or since we have been pulled from another life, or since we have began our undeath, or many
Clearly
other
he's
things.
the out-of-place one here.
Yeah. Or many other things we could list. Most recently, our attempts to continue the Dreamlands ritual to pursue Count Lowls across not just this plane, but the Dreamlands, have been met with difficulties. Difficulties with powerful and potent magic often have equally powerful and potent consequences. And the toll that we have taken here is on our very sanity. I use we a lot. Who are we? Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves for the first time in like 4 weeks because I keep forgetting to do this.
I'm Marcus. I play Marius, the Ghoul Dwarf Ranger.
I'm Brett. I play a Kitsune Fox investigator named Reginald.
Reginald what?
Reginald Sedacious Fox. Yes.
Howdy, I'm Derp, and I play Trey, the frontline hobgoblin fighter in full plate with a pokey stick.
I'm Sully. I play Cammy, the itty-bitty gnomish witch who has felt better before. Has seen better days.
At some point in her very brief, memorable past, she has felt better than this. But it's been a while now since the three of you awoke. You've started to put together a life constantly in flux, a life on the run, a life in pursuit at the moment, trying to track down a cause, a source, some semblance of reason, something that you can understand. And now 2 of you have been swept up on this journey. 3, if we count Reese, and 1, for the moment, seeming to be lost. As you awake this morning following yet another failed attempt to travel to Sarnath, there's still no sign of any change for Easy. Caring for him is a part of every day now. He's still alive. His body still needs sustenance. He needs food and water, but he can't get it himself. He can't eat, he can't move, he can't even open his eyes. He hasn't so much as twitched in his sleep since you returned from your last adventure in the dream. But today, perhaps a much needed brief break from the time on the Selin River. We're coming into a very small port, not even necessarily a port, we could call it. The destination here in the nation of Galt is a town called Debril. And unlike most of the ports that you have visited on your journey down the river so far, this is not a dockside city. This is not a fishing village. And as you ready yourselves with your morning preparation and look out from the deck, you see the lands of Galt rolling before you, beautiful and pristine. Something that's certainly not in short supply sailing past the elven homeland of Kyonin, even the shores of the River Kingdom. Both sides nigh untamed, this is a very different kind of beauty. It's known for the first thing that you would see coming onto the deck this morning. Vast, sweeping fields of red, pink, and white roses, near as far as the eye can see. Rolling across these low, fertile grounds, a veritable paradise of ornate, maintained gardens and alien noises.
That it was on my keychain. Do you know what that was?
I don't know. Was it like a Tamagotchi or something?
Is he hungry?
He pooped.
He was hungry.
Oh, and he grew legs. Hey guys.
Wow. The roses inspired him.
I forgot it was.
Beautiful.
You got to take that call.
He's got. Yeah, do you need
He's
a
out
moment?
here now.
Do you
Can you silence a pet? I don't know how that.
You can't silence this thing. I could put him outside with the rest of my keychain. I forgot about him.
Well,
Yeah,
he
I could
pooped,
do
so
that
he
one.
does obviously need
Oh
to go
no,
out.
I'm taking. He's fine.
Not
now.
anymore.
He can sit there though.
Right,
There
right.
you go.
Put him in his booster seat.
Oh
I
God,
forgot.
It's
I
beautiful.
forgot he was there.
How long
Oh.
have you had your small child?
it's true poetry.
Like 4 days.
That's
maybe?
But
that's why
look.
you forgot.
He has pooped a gift
What?
from
What do
Nebula.
you mean?
Nebula, 315, supporting the show with 2 hero points for my favorite witch.
What?
And a hero point for the new guy.
What?
Reginald. Here you
Oh,
go.
I feel so welcomed all of a sudden.
Thank you,
so
Nebula.
much.
One for you and one for the
The
baby.
magic
For
Tamagotchi
the
poop.
baby.
The baby.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I really
Ooh.
hope that noise picked up on the mic. I feel like that was loud enough. It probably did, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
Arcadis says yes. So, what do you
Oh
guys
my
got
gosh.
from Nebula?
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. What'd
I
you
just
get?
forgot that. Oh, yes, I got magical reverberation. Such power comes at a mighty cost. And I got critical moment, all or nothing.
Both banger cards.
Yes, I got some good ones.
I got a make way, which is coming through.
That's kind of the way you just barged into this entire adventure, honestly. Stepped through a door in the side of a ship.
Yeah.
Soaking wet. Hello.
Hello
It is
there.
I, the Foxman. But the port of, or I gotta stop calling it a port. The town of Debril does have a small port on the river. A couple of piers, small areas to dock. They couldn't handle any ships much larger than the Selin Starling. And a few little storage and transport warehouses dotted among the piers. But the town of Debril itself, by and large, is just visible in the distance. Not even as a town itself, but just as a few humble pillars of smoke rising up from various chimneys in the distance past the rolling, low hills covered in these roses. You can see a few folk working throughout the fields, the main industry of this town very much apparent as you arrive. And, since MD is missing today and Cammy is full, Sir Reginald Fox, you have taken Scott's seat!
Thank you, sir, again. Well, new person.
Scott.
Rending swipe.
Ooh.
So much blood.
This sounds on brand.
That was like a BBC reading of that.
And as you prepare your mornings, get ready, see the ship approaching these small little piers. There is little at these docks, save for... there are some fishing boats, of course. Any town near the Sullen River is going to have some amount of this industry. Food has to come from somewhere, but much less than the lands you've passed before. The Sullen Starling, for the first time, is the largest of the ships, and again, about the largest that these little docks could even handle, as Skywind begins to make her way towards the shores. And she hails you. All right. Listen up. So the Brill, as you might have very well noticed, is a fair bit inland. It's over there. Not so much a port city. So me and most of the crew are making the journey. I'm going to set some orders, pick up some supplies, be gone the better part of the day. I would like a little bit of assistance just for safety and porting, should it be necessary. And she just kind of looks across the group of you before her, just literally doing like a little eeny, meeny, miny sarcastically, before pointing very distinctly at the giant scarred orc man that you travel with. And I figure this one here is the one most likely to make any kind of trouble we're going to find. Look another direction. So, you're with us today. The rest of you, watch the ship. I know better than to leave it unattended anywhere, but Galt as much as any place. Don't tell him I said that. Well, you'll have no one to tell. He'll be here.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see you tonight, I guess.
And as the ship pulls into the piers, this time, no shore leave for the fellas. The Brill is a good distance, and porting the supplies, getting the orders, getting everything organized will take her and the crew most of the time. Leaving you four, Reese, the two scholars, and just a skeleton of her normal crew left on the ship for the day. Reese on the edge of the boat, as everyone is unloading and making way towards the town, is sort of gazing off over these fields of rose bushes. It looks idyllic, almost fantastical. Even aside environs that are truly fantastical that you have visited in the dream, this place looks a degree of unreal. It is so perfectly maintained and manicured, and these bushes roll to the tree line, not terribly far from the water. Again, much as far as you can see. Galt's a fairly flat kind of rolling hills, not much of a mountainous region, especially not on its eastern coast. You can see pretty far. It's peaceful.
Pretty rare for Galt.
Pretty rare for you.
Yeah.
You know, I would very much like to make the journey into town.
There's nothing stopping you from going with them, is there?
Well, I suppose not. I could certainly be there and be back if anyone knew the difference. But I'm not want to leave. Well, he just kind of looks back towards the door of the cabin. You know.
Should be fine for half a day. It's not like the rest of us aren't going to be here.
The problem I have is not so much of a worry. It's not that I'm worried something will happen to you. I've seen how capable the group of you are. If anyone thought to do ill with this boat, I know well what would happen. You've demonstrated it time and time again. I don't know. It would just feel like wrong to leave him, even if only for a moment. I don't know.
Everyone deserves a break.
Do I?
You've been through it just like the rest of us.
You'll wear yourself down if you don't take a break.
Never been much wanting for relaxation, honestly.
You don't have to. Just an offer.
I can see it well enough from here. What are the rest of you doing?
With my day or right now?
Just right now. We can get to day in a moment.
Just having this conversation with Reese, sitting there, not really accomplishing much of anything while we
You do
start our
largely
day.
have the boat to yourselves. There would be 2 crewmates that have been left behind that are both below decks, stocking current inventory and shifting things around to make sure that the problem you had when we first got on this ship. Balance is important when a ship's trying to sail. But now you need to make room for new cargo. At the dock is where you can shift things around to make space and not have to worry too much about being imbalanced because, well, you're about to fix that. There's a good deal of work they need to do, and you don't expect them to see them up on the deck. It's the first time it's kind of just been you guys here.
You know, probably oiling and polishing pieces of armor as I put them on.
Just out in the sun, nice golden fields around you. The smell is very sweet, rolling off of these rose fields.
Probably kind of, listening and occasionally joining the conversation that's been going on, but also sort of just
Fishing.
looking over the landscape, taking things in. It's a very, it sounds, it's beautiful all around us. It looks idyllic, but it's also, with what we've been through, it feels ominous almost. How good it looks. It's
Like
got
too good
Marius
to
a
be
little bit
true.
on edge. Yeah, it's just
The things I've seen.
it feels like it's hiding something.
They're in the roses.
I want to head over towards Marius while he's there. So, I figured out that you were not originally part of the group of people you joined later, kind of like me. How did that go down?
Well,
Did they not trust you as well at first?
more or less, it takes building up trust. I mean, it kind of went both ways, learning to be okay with each other and trust everyone. But I ventured to the asylum to try to find the book, The Chain of Knights, that I'm sure you've heard of by now. Trying to look for that, and because of someone had used it to it really hurt my family and really most of the town I was from. So I was in search for that, trying to figure out what happened, how to make things right, and got trapped in all of the goings on at the asylum. And after a few days, kind of just trying to survive the initial struggle there, that's when I met up with everyone here.
Realized you all have a common goal.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that quite well. You seem like quite a fine fisherman. What got you into fishing?
Sometimes you need a break, and sometimes you need a snack.
All right.
It's a little bit of a meditative opportunity to just breathe for a minute.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed our time the other day. That was good. Nice, quiet, 2 studious men just not talking, just
nice.
fishing. It was good. It's good company.
As you discuss your little conversations, your time on the deck here, polishing your armor, talking, you smell that the scent on the air is more than simple roses. You can tell that it's intentional. It's a mixture, almost a perfume or a series of perfumes intermingling on the air. It seems perhaps obvious, given their primary crop around the area, that would be somewhere that, you think of fantasy world alchemists and you think like, I make bombs, or like, I make healing potions. I think the vast majority of alchemists in the world do simple things, like perfumes. Here, for instance, is a large output of Jabril in this small community. What about you, Cammy?
The fact that we haven't been able, after significant effort, to get back into the dream since we lost Easy is not weighing light on Cammy. And so I think, given this time, sort of without much left to do, we have the next keyword that we're trying to get to work. I think she still feels kind of off her game. Like, there's things that we've taken some like heavy blows and then haven't really been able to get back on the horse, like get back going. So I think that she would be kind of sort of keeping to herself, maybe going up on the deck, and just sort of spending some time with Greenie, alone, sort of like kind of like talking to herself, but like she is talking to, but like he's not.
A rare moment of
Yeah.
reserved Kenny.
Yeah.
Not something we see terribly
Just
often.
kind of feeling like you know why we're like, everybody knows why we're still doing this, but at the same time it's like, oh my gosh, it's like punching a brick wall.
You can see that there is not no activity down around the warehouses below. Just as Skywin and some of the crew have gone into town to ready their supplies for orders, there are a couple of her porters down below and a couple of what appear to be the town's porters you don't recognize preparing to ready and load them. There is preparation to be done on both ends here, but not many. It's less than a half dozen folk down there doing their work. And after not very long at all, less than an hour after Skywin and her crew had departed to go into town, you see the first figure approaching from the direction of Debril. One that looks very much different than most of the normal workers that are moving about below. This woman rides on a horse down towards the docks, dressed up in gray and silver armor. You can see her body almost entirely covered, even in the bright morning sun. It is warm here. Hood drawn up, and even a mask and veil hiding her face. You can't make out any part of this woman's features, but she is clearly very well armed and armored. And across the chest plate of her armor is a sigil that I'm not sure any of you recognize, but I would take a theoretical society check to see if you did.
29.
Okay.
I knocked it by accident.
Was that
That's
14?
better than I thought it would be.
31.
41.
I rolled an 18 for a total of 19.
Oh. I rolled a 16 for a total of 20.
Some of you guys are good.
Is
Some
it
of you
shiny?
guys are not good at this. It is not, actually. It is a symbol that is not common, but one that is very much known throughout Galt, that both Trey and Reginald, Trey not sure why you recognize this, it is a sigil of the Grey Gardeners. Something probably the Galton equivalent to...
Don't say wood.
What was it in Ustalav?
What?
It was the Royal Accusers. The Royal Accusers in Ustalav that had brought Winter down to Thrushmoor in the first place. That's the closest easy comparison that I can make. But they are much more direct. The Royal Accuser Society of Ustalav are investigators. They are detectives. They work for the crown, but outside of the royal court to pursue leads, to find things that they have taken an interest in, that they think are a threat not to the crown, but to Ustalav itself. That can include the crown. And that thus begets the comparison to the Grey Gardeners here, as, well, in a land like Galt, the crown never really stays long.
What's
Grey-
it called in 40K? The guys who go around and investigate things and then purge it.
Commissars? You're not talking about commissars. You're talking about. You're not talking about the Inquisition. That's. I don't know.
Yeah, the Inquisitors.
Inquisitors. Yeah.
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 I couldn't remember that word, but like essentially Inquisitors show up.
They
purge
are
thing.
Almost literally Inquisitors. Yes. But they are a much looser organization. They are known less as detectives and more directly as executioners. The Grey Gardeners do not arrive to take people to hear stories, to judge. They arrive simply to remove. And as this woman approaches on her horse and nears up to the ship here, you see her have turn and look across the docks, just glancing at the people in the boats around before her eyes land pretty firmly on the Selin Starling. She dismounts at the docks and immediately, without even stopping to tie up her horse, strides towards the ship. And I read to you from the passage of Iroku's-san here. Chaos is not always wanton, and the pendulum of fate swings in many directions. A wheel from this
really
ancient
nice.
worm
That is really
to soothe the party in these
nice.
trying times. It's really nice. The dreams call to you, ladies and gentlemen. But even this dragon knows all heroes need to sit back and look at the grand scheme of things sometimes. We're certainly in no hurry to meet you. We can be patient.
Oh,
I want
I
to
think-
convey some of that to him, as I know who I don't know if I know the specific
No, the
person, but
even if you
I know
did,
the
there'd be no way
organization.
to tell.
yeah.
I'd just be
right.
like,
So
this
how
is
they're
bad.
I have enough times slapped you with various stress and sanity things for woes that I think on what is a very peaceful, if suspicious, morning here in the Galton shores, it would be totally reasonable for me to give all of you a little bit back.
That's really
Oh,
nice.
That feels nice.
And it doesn't stir up the order.
Still
And it's still
algorithmically
beautiful.
sorted.
Why do I feel more relaxed all of a sudden?
I think
It's a perfume.
It's
two
the perfume.
to everyone, given the state of those beads at the start of the section, is pretty good because these two were over here. There's a little bit of the danger zone going on. Let's give you guys a little bit of a.
You're in the danger zone.
Oh no, I'm looking
Thank
for
you
that
very
third
much.
superpower.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
You will see her on the docks. She makes obviously no attempts to conceal herself. She is striding directly down this short pier.
Can I make
towards
this person my
Selin.
second lead?
You need 10 minutes to start a lead.
Can
You
I
you can
start it?
Yeah.
Yes.
As she approaches the ship, she looks up and makes eye contact with whoever would be the closest to the edge of the
Probably
pier.
me.
Probably you. And she would just look up directly towards you. I seek to board.
May I ask your reasons?
Business of the Grey Gardeners. My reasons are irrelevant. I seek to board.
Fair enough. Come aboard.
And she would stride across the plank and onto your deck, looking
I'm
across
surprised
each
at that.
of you, turning as she did. And from this closer distance, you can see this veil across her face actually has an inscription of a face over it, of the very locked, stern, almost judging visage that meets each of you as she looks across the deck, to you, to Reese, and then to the hold, and then to the cabin. I'm here in search of a senator named Milo Daldemain, traitor, deemed so by the Revolutionary Council. Do you know of him?
Do we know of him? Because I that name doesn't sound familiar to
Your
me.
name certainly does not. sound
Do
familiar.
I know of that person for whatever reason?
Make me a society check, good sir.
I feel like I don't want to succeed on this. I want to not know who this
Yeah.
person is. So I don't have to hide anything. I
If you
mean,
succeed, you're gonna have to do a bluff check.
Right. He's
that's
gonna-
29.
The 29, it's Galt. So
Yeah.
like, even if there was a senator that was high enough profile for you to have heard of them in Ustalov, they would have been executed by now. That's kind of how Galt works.
That's exactly what I think of.
Like,
yeah.
So no, this is a name that you don't know anything of. Only that the fact that it is a senator means that the Grey Gardener is here to Grey Garden.
Mm.
That's that tracks with
Got it.
what you would know of the organization.
Then having no clue who
She
that
doesn't
person
even.
is.
She waits for a moment, just looking at each of you, but doesn't even allow you to respond before she continues looking at the cabin. I'll search this ship for any evidence. Stay put.
Feel free.
And just walks
Yep.
even before you
Just
responded,
hands up, like-
towards the cabin. And Reese just looks at her. What bloody hell is this?
I don't know the details, but essentially, Galt's not good for diplomats,
So,
and that's the reason.
we're shit from Ustalov. Beyond even. But this is the first Galton port we've come across. We're heading downriver.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
I don't particularly suspect that Sky wouldn't be very happy with letting whatever this is turn her ship upside down.
I don't know if we can really say no.
Well, is it just her?
And she just kind of looks down at her rapier. You can always say no.
Yes, but it's Galt. And I'd rather not cause issues with the entire country.
Yeah, I'd rather not be the next Dimitri or whoever she's looking for.
As
And
much
at
as I
that,
don't
you
like having.
see her step back in the doorway. This passenger, is he ill?
Yes. He fell comatose, I think you said it was.
Yes, it was.
3-4 days ago. Maybe a week.
And she turns and walks back into the cabin.
Can I follow into the cabin where easy?
Into
I
the
will-
cabin with the easy and
Can I follow her?
yeah, you can go.
I will also join
I'm gonna
you.
kind of motion to Reese, like,
Maybe she'll nod and come with you. Does anyone,
Yeah, I'm going to join as well.
I'll probably stand near the door, but outside.
Near the door.
that's
Fair
good.
enough.
instinct.
I don't want her to think we're all trying to crowd her and be like,
Yeah.
Yes, the frontliners will go inside.
Exactly.
In a
You
so-
and I!
You're the
in a
biggest-
social situation, I can be a front line.
You're the biggest and the toughest.
The biggest and the toughest.
As the two of you
I'm
make your
known
way
for these things.
through the step into the cabin, you see that she is searching your cabin. She is currently, at the moment, going through Trey's bag as you get down there. Not particularly gracefully. She's just kind of poking through it, and then she's tossing it aside right as you come in, and she turns, hearing the boots on the stairs. No need for your intervention. I'll be done shortly. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
I don't fear. I just, if you had any questions, I was just trying to make myself
And
available.
she turns and stands up and steps over to you and raises her hand and starts incanting a spell. What do you do?
Oh,
Charm person.
oh,
I spell right back.
oh!
Roll me initiative.
Okay.
Order of
This
operations.
is order of
Do
operation
we-
for whose spell goes
I was
off.
like, I didn't have counter spells, so I'm like, well, fine.
I
I'll
was
just.
gonna say, like, in response. So
Yeah, this is
Response fireball.
this is just whose spell goes off first.
My initiative. Where's the initiative on here?
It's a perception for initiative.
Okay,
'cause
got
it's
it.
just reaction speed.
So it'd be 32.
I kid you not, 31.
oh, yeah, Brett,
Yes.
get her, get her.
What are the full details of charm person? Is that the one? I just know
Alright,
it
so
does.
Basically, she is going to roll a will save against your DC,
Yeah.
and then you tell us what level of success or fail it is.
Yes.
And that's all it is. I'll give you more
And
details.
I'm going to use a villain point on this save.
Oh, that's right. This is
And
like,
you re-roll it.
this
That
is your
means I'm going
first
to roll twice, right?
declared.
We talked about this last
Yeah,
week.
yes.
I'm going to, in order to make villain points a little less oppressive, I have to pre-use them. I can't use them as a result of making a roll. So that is her Megistus giving us this one. She will roll twice and take the higher of these. They were very close. 39.
I'm guessing my DC is not 39.
the target is
That
unaffected
helps.
and aware you tried to charm it.
That's
Oh, that's cool.
almost definitely a critical success.
It is.
Do
DC 24.
do I still get a reaction?
What are you?
Um,
If you roll initiative and you beat her 31, you can also get a reaction
Do
before
it.
she does anything.
well, it's for an attack.
What is it?
You know what it is.
Oh boy.
Oh no, that's fair. It like if this wasn't no, it matters for a reaction.
Okay.
Empathetic plea.
I would say,
It's for an attack, though.
Is the trigger specifically on an attack?
That's what my good friend AJ wrote on this index card many years ago.
Oh, that's
will-
true.
I will
I'm pretty sure it's an attack. This is not an attack.
Okay. Is it something that
Um,
will deal damage to?
It will not. No.
Okay.
Okay.
then
So it will not
doesn't
trigger
matter.
your flicker
So
out
it won't
either.
trigger my flicker. Trigger
So these two
trigger my
spells-
flicker.
What do you do, Reginald? What is your attempt here?
It's pretty much as I see her spell going up, that is a defensive, non-aggressive, not crazy aggressive spell, just to get her to relax. But obviously, it doesn't go through. I will speak to her like, "What are you doing?"
And at that, as Cammy's eyes are just kind of wide, and so you go to defend, but as her hand shoots down, you see a glowing circle of white light erupt around your feet. beaming upward, almost like radiant bars around you. Not a cage, not encasing you, just kind of like a rising, glowing ring. A sigil inscribed in its center, the same one as on her chest. Have you heard the name Emilo Daldemain before I arrived here this day?
No. What is this, though?
And she throws a glance over towards you as your spell just kind of fizzles on her, and then looks back over towards her.
Can
you
I...
have any information, and you can reach right through. You stick your
Yeah, I was
hands
gonna
right through it,
say,
but it doesn't stop you at all.
Can I'm assuming I can't...
Do I
can
know what the
step?
spell is?
Absolutely step out of it if you just want to step out of it.
I think I'm
Do I-
towing my foot. I mean, I'm very
You can-
dead.
yeah, you
I'm
can,
like, what
poke
is
your foot.
going on?
It is in no way physically restraining you.
Do I know
You-
what the spell is?
You...
I'm pretty good with Arcana.
There's a feat for this
Uh,
that's identifying a spell as it's cast.
shoot, I'm trying to see if I have it or something.
Because otherwise you need to identify it like you would identify a magical
Yes.
item, which takes
Do I
time.
Recognize spell.
Here's a quick perusal of your character sheet says yes. So make me... this
He's
is
gaming,
a
he's
divine
gaming.
spell, so make me a religion check.
Religion, that is a 31.
Ooh, absolutely. What she has thrown down here is a circle in which it is almost impossible to tell a lie.
Right, I figured it was zone, like a
Like
truth.
you could call it a zone in which only truth is spoken.
Right, correct.
It is.
Oh
So
my
you
gosh.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the spell?
No,
Yes.
no.
Zone in which only truth is spoken.
That's the full legal name of the spell.
Okay.
You,
It's a little wordy, but
so
whatever.
you haven't felt. You don't feel anything because you haven't. The only thing you stick your toe out of, you stick your hands through. It doesn't seem to restrain you at all. You sense you don't feel anything at all. Just a weird glowing light, and it's weird and it's creepy, and you don't like it. But as she turns her glance back over here, are there any fugitives fleeing the justice of the Revolutionary Council of Galt of which you are aware?
I don't even know what that is.
She pulls her hand back up into a fist, and just the light is gone.
There's no reason to be hostile. We have been nothing but cooperative.
I've shown you no hostility.
You
I
you
think
just
that-
immediately
well,
are doing
And then
things
she
to us.
immediately
That's a
turns around and
subjective
goes
matter.
to the next person's bag.
She's a peach.
Lawful neutral at its finest.
And she is going to kneel down and start going through Kemi's bag.
Okay.
Just right there.
I
Just
guess that's
pulls
chill
it
then.
open and just starts looking through it. She doesn't seem to care about any of your protestations, nor does she seem to have interest in conversation. Reese's standing there.
What is it you're looking for?
Any evidence that any of you would be abetting or aiding fugitives of the Galtan nation?
Yeah, we're not doing that, and you could obviously just do that little thing to all of us.
This is the first port at Galt. This is the first that we've been here.
So you claim?
So I, to my knowledge,
She has a couple of things out of your bag that she pulled out just to look, and then tosses your bag aside and goes down to the next one. I've no reason not to believe you, but not to believe you either. If I find nothing amiss, nothing that catches my eye, nothing incriminating, I'll be on my way.
Yeah, could you not do so much of a mess, please?
It seems you're waiting in port here guarding the ship in time for whatever errands you've this day. You've time. The needs of Galt are above the needs of the few.
I'm assuming that at the top of the stairs I can hear this conversation.
You can definitely, she's not hiding this at all. I mean,
okay.
Cammy and Reese are just like in the
Yeah.
doorway at the
Then
bottom. You
just
could even have seen the
talking
magic pop up.
down. I'll just say, guys, there's no reason to argue with it. It's quite literally better to let her do her job and be on her way.
It's fine. I'm just gonna post up. I'm gonna sit there with my arms crossed, looking as tough as I can.
You can certainly watch. She stops at Gossa and Rebin, the two scholars, asking them the same question she'd asked you. If they are familiar with Senator Emilo Daldemain or have any knowledge of his whereabouts. They both also just kind of shake their head. No. The Rebin, dwarven man, makes a bit of a quip about, the lifespan of Galtan politicians that doesn't land at all. Right. Just back to standing there awkwardly
Yeah.
as she continues going through everyone's things and then finally towards the door. She would just walk straight past you up onto the deck and towards the hold down below decks without a word to where the two crewmates are organizing things below.
I would go with her just
Yes.
to explain to the crewmates.
And even as soon as you could arrive, she is already asking them the same 2 questions.
Yep.
Nobody on the ship knows who this man is. This is your first port in Galt. None of you have any
What was
information.
his name again?
He could have
Demaltro?
swam over and like opened up a door in the side of the boat and just hopped on. Like, you never know.
Is it Demaltro?
Emilo Daldemain.
Oh, not even
You kind of
close to
mashed
what
them
I
together
thought.
a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
Emilo
Doug
Daldemain.
Doug Dimmadome.
No, stop. That is actually making me forget it. I need you to say it, and then I need you to...
Emilo Daldemain.
Emilio
Doug
Daldemain.
Elmo Dominoes.
Elmo Dominoes.
Elmo Dominoes! Elmo Dominoes!
But, of course, finding nothing, the woman does, after about 15 to 20 minutes, conclude her search. Climbing back up onto the deck and moving back towards the gangplank before stopping and turning to address whoever is present on the deck one last time. If any of you hear any information on his whereabouts, people of Galt would thank you for your knowledge. You'll be protected and safe for revealing it.
Of course.
And leaves.
There we go. Problem solved, guys. Nice and easy.
And Reese just kind of watching her, waits long enough for her to be mostly out of earshot, and then just turns back. Oh, bloody hell.
Look, I only know like 3 things about Galt, and it's stuff I've been told. I don't want to upset the nation.
No, you're right. There's no point in picking a fight, I suppose.
Was she,
But
did she have like any bags or anything on her?
she didn't. She has saddlebags on her horse, and as she heads back to that, you can see that she has what definitely looks like a bedroll and tent. Like looks like she is traveling.
But so then, if she wasn't really carrying anything,
And a
Just-
person, she had weapons.
well, just looking at her, she didn't look like she took anything, right?
No, and you had people with her the whole time. Make me a perception check.
A nice high 3 for a 21.
The 21, I mean, she was pretty very clearly carelessly tossing through things. If she palmed anything, it would have had to be relatively small, and she's pretty good at it, but you definitely didn't notice her trying to take anything. Nothing that she found seemed to interest her at all.
Now she works for Galt, like the was it like a?
More or less.
Is that a city or is that like the?
Galt is the nation.
Galt's
the
a
country.
nation, right? She's like a mercenary, like so she's not. She's like a lawful mercenary. It seems
She's like the Galton FBI.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
She's a Fed. Yep, she's a Fed.
That's why I'm just kind of like, I'm just going to let her do her thing. I don't want to get murdered. I don't want to show up in a barn with 2 shots to my head as a suicide. Like
2 crossbow bolts in the back of the head. But with that somewhat unceremonious departure, you're back to your morning. And here now with, well, unless someone else arrives, nothing better to do, a day to pass here on the deck of the ship. An admittedly nice one, mostly alone in the sun, but a day largely like any other. Now, what do you want to do with your day?
final day of retraining.
He is working on his shield work. Almost ready. Almost prepared to be the shieldy boy. How about you, Kenny?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's been a weird time. I really do still feel that, Kimmy's not doing so hot. She, I think that she's going to be kind of taking the day off. I think she's going to be recovering some stress,
Smell the flowers.
having some one-on-one time with Greenie, trying to get her head in the game a little bit, just like game face on.
Sometime later in the morning, closer to the afternoon, as you would be sitting there just kind of resting, communing, focusing, you would hear the thud of a blade in wood. And look next to you and see a dagger just embedded into the post next to your bunk. And Reese walking over with a very focused, almost stern expression. Didn't throw that. Just did
It's
it.
funny, it felt kind of familiar.
All All right.
It's not a bad shot.
I know you said you needed time, and I understand. I do. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been working. And all right. It's easier to show you, I suppose.
Okay.
All right. One. Before we start, you can't laugh if this goes sideways. Very literally sideways.
Is it gonna be funny? Because I can't promise not to laugh if it's gonna be funny. That's honesty.
You're still standing in the circle.
I'm still standing.
Takes a step back and puts her hands down at her sides and just kind of stands like really upright, like almost kind of like awkwardly straight up posture. Closes her eyes and then really closes her eyes, scrunches them closed, focusing the way she used to focus when she was very first starting to work on the whole telekinesis thing, trying to move coins across, just drag them across the floor. And it looks for a moment almost like a breeze blowing through the cabin is kind of catching her hair, her jacket. But there is certainly no wind. And then she just kind of falls over sideways and swears and collapses on the floor. Damn it!
Oh, hey, I'm gonna try and help her up. I don't think I can do that, really, actually.
The 3-foot tall child.
My instinct is to try and...
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just...
Hey, that was something.
Shut up.
No, it was something. There was something going on.
I can move myself.
You can...
I can move myself. I don't know why it took me this long for this to occur to me. This would be a use of this whole telekinesis thing, but I can't just move coins and knives and things around. I can move myself. It's what Medicine was doing. You remember?
Yeah. What does it feel like when you...
It's very awkward. It's like there's no balance. There's no center to brace on. There's nothing to... I feel myself going sideways, and I can't catch myself because there's nothing there.
Okay.
Like it's...
Okay. I'm gonna stand up on the bunk to be at her eye level. I'll be like, do me.
I want you to take this in the nicest possible way, but you're very small and soft.
Well, I am lighter than you are.
Also, fair. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna kind of like put my foot out as if I was going to step like off of the bed.
That doesn't help.
You're like, oh, okay. I was gonna like give it a... Never mind.
And she just looks at you, like really focuses.
I'm gonna close my eyes also because that's awkward.
And you...
So it's like, shortly after this, like I'm gonna also just be like, I'm gonna try and submit.
You feel your weight start to very slightly shift up from the bunk, from this hammock, feet pressing down softer into the cloth itself, and then you feel yourself start to tip forward. And then you feel Reese get you.
Can you telekinetic projectile a halfling?
It's much harder to do to you.
That was you were doing something for a second.
That's something, but why is it so much harder to do with you? You're so much smaller and lighter than me.
Maybe it's not really a weight thing. I mean, I thought that maybe it would be if, you've mastered a dagger, and then now you're trying to lift, like...
You are definitely still spending a day resting, but Reese has had some exciting discoveries that she wants to explore. You too.
This would have probably been a little earlier in the morning. I would direct the question toward Cammy, although in reality it's directed toward you, AJ.
It's me.
Yeah.
I will answer you, Marcus.
My mouthpiece.
We already know the word we need to use to try to find the idol next, and the ritual is pretty much always the same, but is there any more research we could do to make the ritual easier? Like, make it more likely that we'd succeed at that?
Not really, no.
Not really, no.
You definitely
definitely
understand as much of what you
I
can
understand as much as we can
about what to do. It's
about
just
what to do.
things have been weird.
Things have been weird
it's
since
very
easy. And
big on an
it's
emotional
big
focus.
Emotional.
The ritual's very stringent on.
The ritual is stringent upon
mental.
mental.
It's just been hard.
It's been hard.
I feel exactly the same way. It has been hard. I feel like, yeah.
I know
It's like
I
the
really
same
have a way
voice
with
whispering
words.
in my ears. Okay.
That was great.
Well, I thought figured it was worth thinking about. This whole day's weird. I'll probably just continue to just kind of watch and try to figure out why everything doesn't feel right.
Hey, actually, why I got you? Come over here. I'm gonna make Reese try and lift him off. Because genuinely, I think that Cammy would feel lighter after this interaction. Like something has gone even slightly better than it was before.
Okay,
and it's something to do.
Resting mostly is what you're doing.
Pretty much, yeah.
How about you, Reginald?
I somewhat taking the few days where that we fished a little bit, but then we also did a little bit of research, and I like research and finding things.
What kind of
So
research?
I'm going back to those books that you guys had, and I'm going to do some more research on this. I have Redfoot. This Redfoot.
Red Web Foot.
Red Web Foot.
I need
Red
nature,
Web Foot.
religion,
Red Foot.
or survival.
Should add that word in there, because so nature.
Religion or survival.
Arcadis said in
Okay,
chat,
it's all the
light as a
same.
feather, stiff as a gnome.
All right.
And that's really good.
So I will be doing that. Okay, not
Float like
bad.
possessed Reese, sting like regular Reese.
Do I get any pluses to this for whatever reason? Could I have taken my 10 minutes to switch my other lead?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an entire day.
Yeah, entire day.
You could absolutely switch your lead to the
the
red webbed
red-
foot
red-
and then get that bonus, get your investigator bonus. In fact, you should do that every day for sure.
Right, yes.
Absolutely, you should
And
be doing that.
my investigator bonus.
It's just a +1 on it, I believe, because clue in is the well, you can give your +1 to other people. I think
Right.
unless you take feats to improve it, it's just a +1.
Which is, I think, good
That's-
because
I
I,
mean,
rolled a
that's a-
17 plus
that's a-
12, which is 29, then +1 would be 30.
That is good. That's very good. Yes, that's the number that it is. All right. So about that exact lethal, roll me a d8.
Oh, which D8? Oh, I'll roll this special.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? How much research points did his? Oh, you critically failed this last time. I see.
I rolled an 8.
Ooh.
Hey.
Oh.
Oh,
Perhaps the secret is to just leave Reginald to his own devices and just let him do whatever
This
in
is
the
what
corner.
I do.
You get
What
a
if we
flat
just went
+2.
home and let Reginald take over the
It's
entire
like-
thing
Please
by
don't
himself?
leave me.
It's like-
I've been alone for so long.
Well, starting at level 9, he gets a +2 instead of a +1.
To what?
Investigations.
Oh, you go. So 31 even. Fair enough. So you
31 odd.
looking through these things here. The last study on this was a critical failure. Whoever was researching this before had found some strange thread about a creature of worship and thinking
I can't read.
to the Green Idol and to Bokrug, this might have been more of a symbolic thing than an actual red-webbed foot. Your fresh eyes, mostly. Your fresh eyes step in here, look at these books, and think, well, that's a bestiary, and it's illustrated. I'll just look for creatures that have red-webbed feet. You did it.
Why was I so... This was so simple. Sometimes the simplest things.
Sometimes you just need a
It's-
fresh set of eyes.
It's just, yes. Needed a little sleep.
A lavishly illustrated bestiary identifies fairly rare creatures called womps. They're very bizarre little aberrations with a few too many legs that do end in red webbed feet. Most of the womp is a pale gray color, but they're pretty remarkable just because these toes are a very vivid dark red. Now, unfortunately, this bestiary, then its information about the womps is much more like a biological study.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little information on like habitats or where you would even begin to find one of these things. Just a note that they are certainly not a common thing. But, knowing what you're looking for is certainly a huge step in finding out where to even go and how this ritual could help you with it.
Yes. So at one point throughout the day, either, researching and then kind of going out like, I need to freshen up my eyes a little bit. I'll get back to it. I do, who would I talk to about that? Who would I see as I come out of the, is it a library?
Basically,
or is it just where you guys have it in your guys' inventory?
It is literally just the cabin. They have a trunk. They have like a big, let's say like 4 foot by like 2 foot, 3 foot trunk, like a steamer trunk, full of books from Lowell's personal library. They are all the materials that Lowell's had used to research this list in the first place. So they know the answers are in here. A lot of them are annotated. They have Lowell's own notes, and sometimes they're helpful. Much more often, they're just misleading and distracting. But this is the same trails that he used to locate these originally.
So I'll go to my fishing buddy, going over to Marius, and just be like, well, the strange red webbed feet that you guys were trying to look, it's, I believe I found what it's talking about. They're called womps.
Oh.
Yeah, they're pale gray, but they have these red feet. So I'm going to keep looking up, getting more research down, but...
Wow, that's great work. Thank you. You're doing wonderful. Or just kind of getting started on all of this.
Well, I've kind of been at least on your guys' trail, but I didn't realize you guys had some information in all of his books. That is... With some time, I should be able to figure out even more things.
Yeah, this is a little bit more than some information. There's a lot
right.
The trick is finding the right
I think there's like
information.
27 books in this trunk. Like and they are not small. Most of them, they are huge tomes. As a matter of fact, I can literally give you specifically the books that you are reading through, trying to find out about the womps here. It would be, where is Red Web Feet? You are reading through Curses of the Black Lake. Men and vultures, denizens of the darkened depths and dead skies. And Shards of Sight, along with an illustrated bestiary of the realms beyond.
So that last one, what was that last one called again? Sorry. I'm just trying to... Is that where I found...
That was not committed to my mind. That I read it and then it was gone. Shards of Sight.
Was that where I saw where it kind of clicked with me on this beast?
There's just a bestiary that has no explicit title.
Oh, got it.
It's just like an illustrated bestiary of creatures not from this plane. Or not native to this plane, anyway.
Right.
Great ABCs of aberrations.
Yeah.
ABCs of aberrations. There you go. Most of the creatures in that bestiary are aberrant. They are strange. They are misshapen. They look deformed and unnatural, even not knowing what they should be. They just seem off.
Is it like a monstrosity kind of thing? Like somebody might have possibly like splicing, like some people did some DNA splicing kind of stuff, or is it just like, no, these are just natural creatures in certain planes?
Kind of literal on a little on the origins and the habitats and everything. But what is your occultism? Are you trained in occultism?
I think so. I think that's like one of my highest things.
Are you an expert? I
am an expert.
If you're an expert, you would just recognize these aberrations as nearly entirely naturally occurring creatures.
Okay.
Just not. They were not like animals that evolved normally in the world.
Non-GMO organic.
The origins of a lot of aberrations are unknown. Some of them are believed to be experiments or spliced or things like that. But a lot of them have been around for so long at this point that there's no possible way to know, and they've become natural in their own right.
Right. Got it.
When gods have nightmares.
Aberrations. So, Marius, Cammy, you two spent a day relaxing. Roll me a d20.
I believe.
Hey, that'll do it.
That's the upper half.
11.
That probably won't do it with a 9.
It will not.
It's okay. I'm feeling pretty good anyway already.
For Cammy. And Marius, you have 3. You're at 3.
Yeah.
You don't need this.
pretty good.
You've never broken.
A man is unshakable. It's like
he died
I'm already
and came
shaken.
back. And mentally, he's doing better.
Well, he's been having a great time.
Great perspective for
Anybody
the
else
rest
in
of
the
you.
party?
Later, in the late afternoon, with maybe 2 hours of sunlight left in the day, you would see a couple of carts being hefted back down the trails towards the dock. Skywin and the crew arriving with myriad supplies for the ship. This seems to be one of the larger resupplies that Skywin has done, is access to Debril here, and a town that's peaceable and connected and has commerce. Kind of gives you a lot of options. It gives you a lot that you can do. This will stock you up for a fair bit of the remaining journey. And then much of what's left of the day is spent either trying to help unload or simply just stay out of the way. But there's a lot of motion and activity, and it becomes kind of hard to focus after that. At least until everything finally settles down, the ship weighs off, shortly after night has begun to fall. So my question, comrades, is do we want to try again?
Why not? We've only blown up twice.
Third time's the charm, right?
Ooh, okay.
Before we start, I would give her reroll.
Thank you.
I'll give that to her.
Your timeline is being guided.
Yay.
Yes.
And the ritual takes place over the course of a full hour. So
Yeah.
you can do that during the ritual.
Sure.
Like, while it is
It's a single action.
it's a specific thing, and it's precise, and there's a lot involved.
I just made a mistake
You-
last time. I want to
No,
call
you-
it
no,
this
yeah,
time.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm just, this is for everyone's benefit because it actually hasn't come up before. You can generally do other quick things during a ritual. Sometimes depending on how intensive the ritual is. Like, this one is very much focused on individual people at a time. You literally have Risi and MD swapping out. Like, you could even stop entirely for some time while it's not focused on you. The only one who is really locked into it is Cammy. As the primary caster, the one who is channeling and focusing the magic for the whole of the ritual, you're sort of stuck here. You couldn't really do anything else that would require your concentration during
That
the
makes
ritual.
sense. That makes sense.
So we begin again, brothers, as the staircase is brought out, the sigils inscribed in their same places in the floor as every other day, the chants begun, and our dream at the ready. Let us begin. Trey, you always start this off with your Arcana.
20.
Solid 20,
Yeah.
that will fail.
Here we go,
Great
brothers.
start.
I'll roll for Reese.
I guess you can roll for Reese, that's fair.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have let him.
Yeah. 3 low.
You have stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's what you roll?
3.
Oh my gosh.
Failure. So
The ritual will fail.
a sick,
Everybody
Start
has something to
raising
do
a
on the boat
shield.
tomorrow.
great -8 on the first two here. As we pass this around to, were you doing the performance checks, good sir? The dramatic reading?
I could do that. I could do all of the things. There are things I am specially. I
I believe we had you on performance because no one else can.
Okay.
As you
that's
are
the only
kind
one,
of
then I'll
least
do it.
Bad.
Least
And
bad.
sometimes-
Least
Plus
bad.
14.
We'll go ahead and roll me a performance check. Someone statistically has to pass at some point.
Oh, that face!
Can I use a?
You
You
can.
can.
You can absolutely.
Sounds like you should.
Let's see. Running is what? No, probably the make way. That just seems a little out of character for me.
All right, fair enough.
I'll use that one. Do better. I'm trying.
They can only get better.
That's not
It's better. It's better. It's 27.
That succeeds. Okay.
Woo!
Oh, all right. So we're on the -6 now.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Acrobatics?
You were doing survival.
Survival.
Acrobatics was
Okay.
you were doing backflips over the captain's strike line. So surviving.
Okay. So 17
Okay.
for, I think, 31.
Succeeds. Wait, you regularly succeeded. So yeah, no, we're still at -8.
Hey, can I retcon my thing where I just use my rather than using my hero
Hey,
point?
It's okay.
Honestly, logical. If you use, that's your once a day, right?
Yeah,
you
for
won't
myself.
have it in the dream if it does succeed.
Yeah, but he won't have the card in the dream either.
Just
They're
Like,
both
you're good.
roughly the same thing.
You'll get cards back.
Okay.
Everybody loves a little fox.
Hey.
Cammy, once again,
Okay.
as this comes around to you,
It's only
It's
a
not-
-8.
It's not right.
And you
This-
get 2.
Okay.
This whole ritual, the chanting, the icons, the stairs, it's all sort of framing. It's all ways to help you focus. It's all symbolism almost. What really matters is the control, the fine control of your minds. You are trying to focus, to connect, to feel, just like the rituals you were doing back in Thrushmoor that you can barely remember. And, well, controlling everyone's emotions seems to be incredibly hard recently, since the previous screen. It's like your minds don't want to return. You have a -8.
I think as starting the ritual, I think that Cammy would have had the ruby sitting in her pocket, having failed twice with it involved, not really knowing if that was connected. But as it starts to pass over to her, and she notices that, like, especially now feeling it in her hands, like, this is not going well, and feeling the sort of searing hot on her thigh of the ruby in her pocket, as she starts to kind of do her scan over, she's gonna just sort of go out on a limb, and I'm gonna take it from my pocket and sort of kick it to the center with my foot. And just kind of is like a, well, screw it. It looks like we might be going anyways. Like,
is really well screw it. If we had a subtitle for this group,
all right,
that'd be it.
I'm gonna roll twice.
10% chance. Natural 20.
First one's an 8.
Let's roll twice, take the better, right?
18 for the second.
Plus 10 from the
it's
time
Plus 10
manipulation.
for the, or no, plus 11. My occultism is 19. So, okay, yeah. So that is 29. It's 29. It's so high with the minus 8.
-8?
It's
That's crazy. You throw the ruby out into the middle as you take this, feeling how wrong it is. How the stairs shake, writhe, and almost difficult to hold on to. And you try your best. You put everything into this. And for a moment, you see... Well, it's not so much see, feel it. A sense of deja vu. You drop the stairs down. You're sure you obviously have done this several times, but you just did this. And you look around for a moment, and everything looks as it should. The stairs hit the floor, clattered, bouncing once, and then a bright red portal opens up as the ruby shines across it. A flash of scarlet, and then a black pit with nothing visible but stairs. Reginald, you haven't seen this before.
I was like, is that? This
no,
is new.
That's it.
Oh,
This is right. This is
I don't want to walk fast.
okay.
No, I'll go first. Just be ready to see things that don't make sense.
As you look around, you notice that strangely, it is only 4 of you. Normally, Reese helps conduct the ritual and then quickly at the end reaches out and swaps with MD, pulling him in at the last moment to connect him with you. And you saw her pull back and move. But in this moment, it's deja vu as you look up. You only see 4. MD does not look like he has made the connection. But you're here. And what else can you do?
Walk on down the stairs. Just saunter on down.
You descend the stairs. And as you take step after step into this infinite dark void, as everything fades around you, no sight, no view, just the feeling of step after step under your feet as you make your way down. No sounds, no sights, no smells. Silence. until in the distance you hear laughter. You hear sounds of revelry, merriment, glasses clinking, bodies shuffling. You step down into a room that's relatively small, but resplendent. Golden filigree, high arched windows, sumptuous tapestries, a feasting hall spread throughout myriad chambers before you. Absolutely filled, packed with people. You can't tell from here how big this place is, but there must be hundreds, possibly even thousands. You arrive at an incredible festival, a feast, a party. Attendees all draped in garments sewn from gorgeous silks, satins, velvets, gold bands and headdresses studded with jewels and feathers, exotic, bright colors. This is a gala very different immediately for three of you from the encounter you had had some time ago in the Dreamlands when you had arrived at the Viscount's. That was very reserved, very high class. Everyone was very cautious, polite, eloquent. This is a feast of unrestrained revelry and indulgence.
Debauchery.
Debauchery is a great word. Many guests are drawn about these incredibly bright silks, velvets, these elaborate gowns. Many are not. The rooms are very full. Bodies very, very close together. Strewn about across the tables, the chairs.
It's not a very
large,
organized party.
Plush cushions. It is a very different air from the gala you've been visited previously. Welcome, everybody, to Sarnath. It is here that we will take our break for the afternoon. And when we return, we will explore this cascade of decadence. This perhaps as much a den of carnal sin as where we met the Night Hag ambassador previously, just catering to a very different kind of thing. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, everybody, to enjoy the festivities and try to locate this idol of a greenstone water lizard here in this. Don't go too far, everybody.
Oh, God.
Get some drinks, grab some snacks. It's a party, after all. If you got some time, you can check out a couple of our sponsors. About to pull up an Arkenforge map when we get back. It's pretty cool. I've done some cool things with it. This one's actually going to be a pretty neat highlight of what you can do with Arkenforge. Or alternatively, we have a new partner. We have new dice friends over at Easy Roller, who I believe also have UGT show as the discount code over there. Yes. They've got a very wide spectrum of things that you can get, from the fancy elaborate metal and gemstone dice to the far more affordable plastic and epoxy ones that are still cool looking and have nice designs. There's a very wide scope. There's something for everyone over there. Again, discount code UGT show on both those platforms, or you can check out any of our other partners listed below each other. Don't go too far, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. As we left off, we had just arrived at the Grand Festival in Sarnath, a sweeping party rolling throughout the entirety of this massive palace. A party very different from the gala we attended back in Celify. One of refined stature, this much more chaotic. much more energetic.
Is it
Much
just
more
me, or does this guy, while he's small, look like he's wearing a hot dog costume?
enthusiast. What?
Right side of the screen, red and yellow.
Oh, I can kind of see
Like
it.
small,
actually.
looks like a
It's
hot
when
dog.
if you shrink it way down, it
Yeah.
sort of looks like a hot dog costume. Anyway, let us introduce our adventurers here as we arrive in this party at Sarnath. We started with Marcus this morning, so we'll start with Cammy now.
I'm Sully. I play Cammy, the itty bitty gnomish witch, who is feeling a little embarrassed about this being the first stream that they're bringing Reginald to.
That's fair.
Howdy, I'm Derp, and I play Trey, the hobgoblin frontline fighter man with his stick at the ready.
That was foul.
I'm the investigator Fox. I'm Brett, also. That's my real name in Earth, on Earth. Yeah, Reginald Sedacious Fox as my character.
I'm Marcus, the Ghoul Dwarf Ranger. Marius puts on his fine yellow stash, and he feels emboldened and ready to take on anything.
Anything.
That reminds me. And this
Yeah.
is less important now, since now we've learned that you can rest to regain stress.
Okay.
But I had previously had a scheme going, which is that in our last stream, we went to the lounge, and I partook in some of their
Yes.
their goods,
Uh-huh.
and I said that I took a bite out of it and I put the rest in my pocket.
She did.
You did.
So when I reach into my
That's
pocket right
accurate.
now,
You would find a
oh yeah,
half-bitten lump. Did you just go? It was just pesh? or
No,
did you-
it
yeah.
was
It
flay
was-
leaf.
yes.
It was a
You just
big
ate a
like
chunk of flay leaf.
that
Okay.
is all
it
I've
wasn't
the
meant to
only
go
way
in a
I've ever
hookah,
known to
and you
consume
just-
it.
no. It wasn't a chunk of flay leaf. It was like a ready to go cigar or
Yeah,
something.
it was like
and
a
she
blunt
just,
lunch.
She
It was
just
like a
broke
long-
it and took a bite.
Well, then you have a broken, munched
It's less
cigar.
important now, but I was like, and I'm gonna put it in my pocket. I was hoping
You
that
have
we-
2/3 of a doobie.
I was about
well, now I'm gonna put it in my magic items.
As you arrive, looking around the
I was
area,
gonna say you brought up stress, and I feel like this is a great environment for relieving stress.
Yeah.
you can see in
God.
here, after the initial shock of the patrons around you and their very excited activities, broken apart in some places into small groups, some to intimate pairs, some the better part of a room, all enjoying the festivities together. You can see much throughout the layered walkways of this palace. Many of these rooms, the reason that we're having the map displayed like this is because a lot of these are not necessarily walls so much as they are like tiers. This is a massive hall that's separated in some places into smaller rooms, but mostly into just like you don't really have them here in Florida, but like multi-level homes that have like the half staircase and like
Mezzanines.
you have the
Yeah.
entryway, and then you have like the kitchens kind of just like at waist height from the entryway kind of thing.
That's technically a mezzanine.
It's a lot of a lot of
Yeah.
things like that, a lot of mezzanines and subdivided floors.
One of those
Um,
70s chill pits.
That you
Yeah.
can see exactly. So there are a lot of things like that you can see all throughout.
It looks
the area.
just like the 70s chill pits too.
Very similar, yes.
It's used in the correct way.
You can see, you can hear otherworldly tones of an orchestra echoing through the halls here. Primarily composed of
all right.
flutes, pipes,
having a lot of
and very steady rhythmic drums.
Steady.
Are we-
Yeah.
Are we trying to be quiet or sneak around
No.
here,
At the
or are we
southern-
well known?
End
We're
of the
unknown.
hall,
Or
you can
unknown.
see
Oh.
the actual edge of the building itself. Massive, grand, high-arched windows looking out over what looks like it might be the sea. It might be a massive lake. It's somewhat reminiscent of the view from Thrushmoor. Just water, perfectly mirrored and reflected out into the distance. So sheer as to exactly copy the constellations and the moon hanging above. Again, the halls are absolutely packed with a myriad of people. Very diverse groups, much more cosmopolitan than what you would have seen back before in Celify. There are all kinds and all comers, all sorts of strange folks and fashions
Yeah.
throughout every room of this. And this map here, before we proceed any further, I will say again, much like Celify, shout-outs to Seafoot Games for your super cool maps. Because unfortunately, one of the downsides, I suppose,
Look
of...
what we did to it.
Thanks for your map. I made it a party.
Don't install the blacklight extension.
Thanks for the map.
The kind of downside of this adventure being like 50 insane dream quests is that, like, due to honestly, I'll give Paizo this one, very understandable space limitations for how many insane places we go. The map's a little bit lacking on some of these. But Seafoot Games has this for free. This is not, we're not sponsored or partnered or anything. This is just free. You can just go to their site and download this. This is a really good free map. Like, this is a banger of a free
It still
map.
goes.
Oh, it is a banger.
It goes. You can see the reflection and the water and everything. It's like, it's
Is
super
this made
cool.
for this encounter?
No, this is just,
I mean, now it is.
it is now. I made it for this encounter.
Dang.
Immersion, yes. The answer is yes.
So yeah, yes, it was made specifically for this encounter.
I see Earth.
And you can see out past the
That's cool.
out where the water is through the windows. There is kind of a back area that's mostly, it looks like a cliff. It's like a stone outcrop that extends a ways out behind the building. They were just scrolling over there. It drops down pretty sheerly on either side towards the water, some 15, 20 feet below. A great viewing point for the lake or the ocean or whatever it is beyond. There are a very small number of people out there, looking mostly like those who are seeking a brief reprieve from the events going on inside the palace, those who are taking a moment. Most, however, enjoying the delicacies available inside.
Is this roofed or canopied?
This would be
neither?
roofed. The inside of the building itself is actually roofed. You are inside a huge building, and some of it is like smaller rooms. You can see a few of them where the thicker walls are. Those are actual walls, but a lot of it's grouped into like sections of 2 or 3 or 4 little chunks of, again, mezzanine.
Does it look
areas.
like we've come in through the back door?
The looks
Oh.
like you have arrived into the very much the middle.
It's a genuinely good question.
Hall.
You went there.
And as you arrive here, what are you all doing? Because we're
I'm
going
Blushing.
to exploration mode.
Oh, exploration's all right.
If we're exploring,
This is a place
This
where
is
you are
going to be the...
very much free to explore.
It's
been quite a while.
As we pop into the
I believe
zone,
I will be
I'm gonna-
purveying.
Oh my gosh. As soon as
enough.
we like descend the stairs and we arrive back in the dream, the relief of finally getting to work leaves. And I'm gonna
Instantaneous
look over to
regret.
Reginald and be like, it's not always like this.
It's all right.
This is the first time it's been like this one.
I'm quite an experienced person.
Oh,
I'm old.
no.
I've seen many
No.
things. I promise you
the
this.
Jokes aside, probably just putting on a serious face and just ignoring everything and like looking around, trying to
you're-
figure out what the idol is.
You're here for a purpose. You're looking, of course, to this idol.
My
No sign of this anywhere. But
my mindset is make jokes for the rest of the session.
yeah, where to begin even looking for an idol in this is a great question. Anyway, so what are you doing, Candy?
Recalling knowledge.
Thinking.
Disassociating is an exploration activity.
Thinking.
You're recalling knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, you're really studying your surroundings, see what you
I
know
didn't say
about
that,
the,
though. You said that.
Are you gonna make a new Kama Sutra?
I said I'm thinking, and that's
Fair
it.
enough. You can recalling knowledge, looking at this.
My
I
thoughts
mean,
are private.
at the moment. There's little for me to tell you
Thinking
other than
people
what I
shouldn't
already
bend
have.
that way.
No,
Well, you two over here.
not unless he
I,
makes me roll for it.
You can't tell that a fox blushes, but it's just a little little
You
bit
are a
of
fox right now. You're not a person.
correct. I'll
Oh,
say that.
good.
Yeah, I keep this interesting. I will, but then I will actually start assessing what's going on around, looking beyond the entertainment and seeing if there's any information to gather.
I've never really looked at what the make an impression activity does.
Make an impression is basically you would be using generally diplomacy to try to anyone that you meet, start with them having a better opinion.
I don't have diplomacy. Let's not do that.
There is because
I'm gonna go seeking.
There's a mechanic that comes up, admittedly, at my tables very rarely because I just RP everything mostly. There is like a striated list of how much NPCs like you, from like hostile to unfriendly to neutral to friendly to helpful.
Pretty diplomatic.
And making an impression with a successful diplomacy roll, you start one higher than you normally. I mean, you normally start neutral with everybody.
It's like a dating
So
stage.
successfully, you would be probably starting at friendly instead of neutral. Or people that are inclined not to like you very much might start at unfriendly. Will start at neutral.
You can also use intimidation.
I think I'll probably just go searching, looking in every nook and cranny, every hole I can find to see wherever that statue might be.
Fair enough.
Can I do that diplomacy?
Sure, you
To
can make an
kinda
impression. Absolutely.
Make a good
yeah,
impression.
it comes
I
up
guess?
whenever you meet someone. You will basically
Okay.
like. If the role is relevant, I'll ask you for it.
Yeah,
but you're
yeah.
focusing on trying to make sure that everyone that you run into here likes you. Now,
Yes.
Paranoid.
To get.
This is a horror scene
Yeah.
around you. Knowing how you normally are with new people, you would be frozen. However, that doesn't. You realize that you are very much uncomfortable, but it's not because of any inset paranoia. It's not because of this constant looming fear that they're plotting against you, or they mean you ill, or they're going to hurt you. That feeling actually seems to be almost entirely gone at the moment. You're able to not so much look past it, not even ignore it, it just simply isn't there. No sooner do you arrive and look around and catch your
Straight to
bearings,
them.
as you see a woman pass by through the crowd of people, moving tall with very elegant grace. You see her of the parting wave to the group of people she was just talking with up the stairs in the mezzanine above, draped about with very light, translucent silks, her head completely shaven, and as she turns to look towards the newly arrived group of you, smiles, her teeth a bright pastel blue, painted or stained. No gloss, just like a matte pastel blue, almost like, I guess, eggshell.
Does it seem like it's something she drank or some sort of food that
It
she
looks
had?
intentional. It doesn't look
Okay.
like it's dangerous from consuming or something. It looks like it's a fashion choice.
Okay.
So she turns and looks upon the group of you. You look lost, confused.
I'm going to talk to Cammy really quick. You're,
Excuse us.
you're playing your cards. Look a little more pristine when you're here. I understand you seem a little nervous.
Okay. Okay.
You do not need to be so tight. Yuna is a fine friend and a good guy. Yuna is a good friend to have if you are new to someone.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well then, Yuna is a renowned poet, painter, known throughout much of the city for her works. And who does she have the pleasure of meeting here?
Oh, I get it. I mean, I'm Cammy.
She just kind of looks at it and looks back up at you.
Never mind. Okay.
Just nod.
Trey Huglum. A pleasure.
Just with the cane, flip the cane up, tip of the hat. Reginald?
Marius Greyfall.
You are travelers from abroad, then you have seen many inside this night. The celebration has drawn folk from all around.
It's quite the gathering.
It's quite the anniversary. Yuna does
Anniversary of
not-
what?
You are here and do not know?
Ah,
You
we-
must be friends of friends of friends, invited simply to partake in the grand feasts of the halls here.
He's our +1.
Absolutely.
So.
All are very much welcome. The celebration of the destruction of the city of Ib 1,000 years ago. The Sarnathians are very prideful folk. Yuna finds much inspiration with them. And this is exactly what Yuna needed. She has been struggling recently to put pen to paper, to find new words, to pass her inspiration forward. But this raw emotion, this is something that Yuna can use. And this confusion interests her. It is unique here. You thought there would be more like you that were confused, that were shy, perhaps. But it seems the group of you here are alone in the river. Have you only just arrived?
Yes. And to be honest, we were not here for these particular celebrations. More interested in the history.
Indeed. Well, as a poet, she can tell you much. Her stories are told oft throughout these halls. You are historians.
Partially.
A strange night to avail yourselves, though I guess the anniversary is as good a one as any. But you will perhaps find difficulty in conversation in many places. Many will take interest. And she says that word very slowly, pointedly at Reginald, very directly. Before kind of turning back to the rest of the group with her smile back in place.
I've been trying to be confident, but just a little bit of eye contact goes away from her. And then it's like,
Did something catch your fancy?
nope, I'm nothing. I got nothing to say right now, actually.
Yuna is always open to groups of friends.
Yuna, if you would be so kind, I heard tale of an idol that was of my particular interest.
The idol is the icon of their victory. The idol the Sarnathians took 1,000 years ago when they razed the city.
Yes. Would we be able to see it?
I believe it must be on display here somewhere, but Yuna has yet to see it this night. There is so much more interesting inspiration to be found in emotion than relics and trees. They do not tickle Yuna's mind.
It's
But
fair.
Perhaps if you avail yourselves of the festivities, you may find what you seek.
Yes.
Thank
Yuna
you.
will not keep you. Yuna has many free time.
Remember to be confident.
Oh, right, yes.
Reginald.
She,
I will just bow.
one more kind of look over towards Reginald, and she smiles and takes a couple of
180.
steps, still looking at you as she moves away. Making sure you're seeing, where she's going,
Right,
in case
right.
you want to find it later. And then moves further down into one of the
What are we talking about looks-wise here? We're talking about relatively curvish.
She
Roll a
is
d20.
Blue teeth was the one that we got.
I'm a fox. I have no judgment on blue teeth.
Translucent silk. It's very exotic to the point of almost alien in the way that she dresses and carries herself
Sure.
and her consideration of fashion. But I don't know, what's Reginald into?
What's
That's more the question, I suppose.
Wait, was it a
Well-
What does he find his interest? She's a human, yes. Human woman.
I mean, how do I keep this PG-13?
She's
Yep.
she looks. I would
Sounds like
certainly-
he's gonna be good.
Well, are we talking like an alien outlook on mid-Greek attire?
Well, I mean, just like the pastel blue teeth, I think, is kind of like
Is it
the
just
big
the
indicator.
pastel
It's just
blue?
like, well, a lot of what she has around herself is also very. Your car alarm's going off.
Hey, listen, we put it over there so nobody would
What
hear.
I'm thinking
if everybody
is like
had been quiet.
Aphrodite, like dress and look. But
Well, it's like she has normally, no matter how strange fashions get, we have garb that serves the same purpose.
Yeah.
And covering us and displaying
Do
different
we?
parts. And hers almost is different. She has much more fashion, almost swapped across her, almost like a sash fashion. There's a lot of her clothes are up almost around her neck and her shoulders, to the point of it almost like being a bulging wrap that drapes down just across down one side and then around the upper leg around her thighs is where almost all of her clothing is centralized. It's very different. It's clearly pure fashion. There's no possible
Very Met
practical
Gala.
purpose. This could, yeah. We're talking like Met Gala crazy fashion. Doesn't
Hunger
make any
Games
sense.
type
Fashion.
outfit.
Yes. I think your car alarm.
You
is
might need to
going
go say
off.
hi to
You
your
need
little buddy.
Did you go turn your car alarm off?
And put it outside. I thought I could hide it.
So she steps away, leaving the group of you, I suppose, as alone as you can get for the moment here. Where?
That was quite interesting.
Something about not showing your cards.
Well, I didn't know. Maybe my looks can kind of shock people, especially if they have not seen my type and they're the explorative type. They might be curious.
I'd say she was more than curious.
Well, I was trying to keep it calm, but
As you say that, another figure approaches. You don't even see where from. They are small, maybe 2 feet tall. Their head about one half of the total mass of their body, almost looking like a bobble-headed doll.
So it's
with
a goblin.
A comically oversized face. They're not green. They're definitely not a goblin, but yeah, this kind of proportions, more or less. Rounded, almost kind of like, almost nearly spherical face, like a balloon, with a humongous nose dominating the front of it, just kind of hooking out. Nothing adorning their body. They kind of approach, walk over, look up at Reginald.
Yes, can I help you? Are you...
You don't want to say yes.
I
believe
think it's
you're
a yes
Sorry.
or no
You're being
question.
propositioned, good sir.
Oh, that's... thank you. That is I will take it as a compliment, but let me get more acquired with my friends. We just got here. Okay.
Strides off.
Can I go somewhere private?
That's a challenge here.
Well, I don't think private exists.
Well,
here.
okay.
You're
Can
gonna
I
open one of those closets and find like 13 people in one square?
Right.
Run away
If
and
you want to
hide.
switch back, you should just go for it. I mean,
Well, I would say, can you guys get around me really quick? And then I will.
in a court, like, so you could change.
Correct. Yeah.
Well,
You need
if
a
you go into
textbook
the
to carry
corner,
in front of you?
I can just tower shield and
Yes,
just
do
hold
that
it
really
up.
quick, and then I will transform into my human form,
I put up the curtain.
which is an average.
Don't say that.
What's your,
That means
Not on
it's
this
different
show.
here.
what's your charisma score?
You know
man.
who would
Easy
have
would've
loved
loved
this
that.
Plus
dream?
3.
You're not average. You are well above 10 is average.
Right. Yeah.
Where is he when you need him?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The two people that
I transform into my human form. I was like, that was I was getting way too much attention.
the two people that are seeking, roll me perception checks.
Looking for the little fish guy. It's a blobfish on feet.
It's kind of a blowfish on sheet.
31.
31,
27.
27, 31, 27. Hey, both of you would see that there is another man up on the mezzanine above you, pretty much straight ahead. That mezzanine almost at head height, near the edge, is talking to a small group of people with a golden bejeweled goblet in his hand, laughing, who just occasionally keeps, like, since you put the tower shield down to change, is definitely, like, glancing your direction. And it seems different than any attention that might be thrown your direction since you've arrived here. He just seems more like a legitimately curious person. It looks more like a
Straight down from us, right?
straightforward curiosity. Yes, you'd have to kind of wrap around a few sets of stairs to make your way up there. But yes, straight down from you.
Couple questions about what's going on around, or what the room looks like. One, is there like a haze of smoke like there was in the last place? It's just clear air. And
This is of all of the things going on here, there does not appear to be very much. Well, you were in a literal drug den before. If there's any of that going on, you don't see it actually. A lot of drinking,
and so
a lot of feasting.
this is all like open. So does it kind of look like an MC Escher work,
Kind of.
but with
If you look at the
slightly
big
more
map here,
plausible?
the section down at the bottom left, that big circular room, and the wall going north from that, that is a separate section area. That's one little private room on the left, and up above that as well. Those are separate. The room you're in and the two rooms below you are all kind of one big mezzanine area. And on the right, there's 3 more rooms that are one big mezzanine area. Then there's the smaller chamber, top right's a private room, and that like kind of octagonal room at the bottom right, also a separate chamber. But you can see that one from here because that one has windows all around it, facing both out over the lake or the ocean and also back into the palace itself. That one's also like way up above.
Are we going into any specific room right now? Or we just
Currently, we just noticed that guy.
okay?
It
Have
looks
we?
like you'd have to wrap around through the mezzanine to your right to connect into this one. But you can find anywhere you want to go on this. You can find your way there. If you just want to head up there, you can just head up there.
Have we identified the things I took from the tomb? I don't remember if we did or not.
I believe one of you.
I think you identified one of them, and it was for me. Because
I
wasn't
just-
it the
I rem-
staff?
It was the staff, but there was something else.
Which we
No.
don't have fully identified.
That,
but-
yeah, you have the staff. I currently have Sully with the staff and the crown,
She has both.
I
I was
do.
just making sure that we.
and nothing else that's unidentified. Because nothing else you got was magical.
Okay, just making sure. because it's been a minute and we haven't been in the dream.
So the group of you going to meet this figure?
I would point him out to everybody, and at least on the vaguest sense of he's not what everyone else is, go and say hello.
As you make your way around, it's a bit of a journey, passing through quite a few people who are displaying quite a bit of interest.
I know we're walking pretty quickly, but I do have That's Odd. Is there that big room that we went through up top? That one? Mm-hmm. Is there anything besides the people and what they're doing?
That's odd, not things that are obvious. That's odds like something that will be a little bit less clear.
Yes.
And looking at this...
That's odd. Someone doesn't bend like that.
There's really nothing that stands out to you as any weirder or different than in all of the rest of what's going on.
Okay.
It's there is a lot.
I don't want to stop every room,
yeah,
so
no,
I don't know.
I'll just tell you.
Okay, yeah, because I have that up. Okay.
I have that on my thing back here, actually, because that's when I walked. It's so good for Chance.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, trust me. I will go if that's on as a chance to proc. Don't you worry about that one.
Right,
I got you, BB. Right. You come around to the bottom, and even as you approach up the stairs to this last mezzanine, the man excuses himself from his group and turns towards the four of you as you approach. He's got fairly short black hair, one side shaved down above his ear, and as you see him up close here facing you, he's got a trio of intertwined rings pierced through his lower lip, covering most of it. And he just nods and smiles. I mean no offense by this, but simply an observation that the group of you are a fair shake differently dressed than most of those who have decided to attend the revelry in Sarnath this eve. You've been brought here by different purpose, I surmise.
Looking for the idol. Not much for the party.
The idol taken from the people of Ib so long ago. Greatest victory thousands of years past.
I've heard good things about it.
You're historians or
researchers.
Yeah.
Researchers, of course, my mistake.
Same vein.
It truly is an intricate and interesting thing. It's so plain as it seems on the surface. I've beheld it once, carved of simple green jade, but it's got an air to it. Something that I desperately wish to capture myself in some of my products. I apologize. Introductions are in order. Marge and Sarkis.
Trey Uglum, a pleasure.
Sarkis Textile Company. Now, I don't mean to pry into any of your business, nor do I mean to take any of your time. I do apologize if you had caught my eye earlier. It's simple curiosity, nothing more. It's rare on nights like this, and this one in particular, for folk suited and armored as yourselves to appear.
It's not often that we go to a new place and don't encounter trouble.
Oh, of course, understand. Everyone, they need their own safety net, indeed. And truth be told, you'd be a fool not to carry weapons anywhere these days. So, simple curiosities. You wanted to behold the idol tonight, seemed tonight as good as any?
Essentially, we didn't get to choose the night that we were available. It just happened to coincide.
Ah, of course. Business calls as it does. Duty dictates the schedule of those with, much to lose and much more to gain. So, the rest of you is some traveling companions then. You seem very, again, curious is the word I would use, Sword.
Researcher. Escort.
Oh, of course.
Allies.
Indeed.
I'm just dressed fancy, just a normal human white guy.
you a normal.
Your
man.
average fantasy
You can think
hero.
of him as our +1 to the party.
Ah, of course. I see you would be the guardian then, I suppose.
Yes.
You caught my attention with that mighty shield of yours.
Which it'd be back to a buckler
Right.
size now.
And he doesn't kind of seem to look curiously. An interesting artifact indeed, and an interesting sigil emblazoned upon it.
And looking at it, to me, it just looks like a sapling. I don't see anything interesting other than that. It's a magic shield, and there's a tree, and when it gets big, the tree gets big.
I had been looking perhaps for, those who would come to Sarnath seeking gain, seeking riches, seeking to make their own fortunes and path through the city or the realms beyond. As I said, I am the Sarkaz of Sarkaz Textile Company, a company that will soon be founded to take Sarnath by great storm. You seem the sort with, well, wise minds on you, and perhaps great inclination to invest. Why make your own coin when coin can make for you?
I don't see why not. What's your pitch?
Well, I can guarantee you that given the market I have carved out through Sarnath here, given the connections that I have made, Sarkaz Textile Company is all but guaranteed to succeed. All that I need to get started is, as I said, initial investments. And once my productions are underway, things online, I certainly have plenty of designs, patterns, ideas overflow within me, just ready to be pressed to it.
I must say, this seems like a weird venue to be trying to sell people on clothes.
I'm not trying to sell anyone anything. As a matter of fact, that's more than fair. That's more than fair. That's not what I seek to do. I, well, simply seek to make a name for myself in the only and the most direct way that I could know how, and the most effective way to bring these goods to the people of Sarnath. You see, this is a gala that attracts all sorts here. Anyone who is anyone will be attending the 1000th anniversary of the fall of Id.
I distinctly remember grabbing more than the crown and the scepter, but everything else was non-magical.
Yes. Those are like the two that I probably named some other stuff.
I just grabbed everything on the body.
The only magical thing was the body.
So,
Does anybody who's anybody, does that mean like there might be royalty, senators here, things like that?
Oh, I'm all but certain, my friend, of course. Sarnath is a place of great renown, and not only our own rulers, but those from realms beyond have traveled here to attend these festivities, much like yourselves. Some simply wish to share in our victory. Some wish to perceive of this idol, to learn the storied tale of Sarnath itself. Some seeking connections, networking, investiture. Some here for, well, reasons unknowable, perhaps.
Do I notice anybody listening in on our conversation?
Absolutely not. Not at all. There's just nobody in here wants to listen to this conversation.
All right.
Do I recognize the name Sarkin or anything
Not even a
about
little
the
bit.
company? Like nothing in the books, nothing
Nope.
about cool.
Tell you what, if you can point us towards where the idol is,
and I'll pull out some of the jewelry that I took from that crypt.
consider it an investment and a purchase of your information.
Of course. This is a fair investment indeed.
Be like
so what
two
sort
or three gold necklaces or something.
What? I hadn't even begun to lay down the business plans, details for structure, what kind of partnership we seek to invest in. But there is plenty of time this night to discuss. And as he says that, and you have these in your hand, you hear a door slam. What sounds at first like a door slamming, loudly enough to be audible over the party and the music and everything that's playing. It's less a door slamming and more a door exploding.
Very excited pairing in there.
And then you hear the panic start to break out.
I do have no cause to alarm. I don't know if that helps anything.
No cause for alarm.
No cause for alarm. There's, from the room next to you, on the mezzanine you just passed through, you hear screams and something else. Strange calls, almost echoing through the area in a language, if it is even a language, that none of you could understand. And as you turn and look, seeing people fleeing from this, out through the windows, you see shapes start to rise up around the edges of this stone terrace out behind the palace. They look like specters, lanky, green, almost human shapes, with strange, wide mouths, massive black eyes, frog-like heads, with almost webbed antennae sticking out from the back of them. These specters arise and shoot through the windows around the southern wall, pouring into the door next to you. Reckless abandon as they lash and writhe and slash through whoever they can get their hands
Don't
on.
think they're here for the party, to enjoy it.
And
Find
about
the
as
damn
soon as
idol.
you can notice this, 4 of them from that side room have worked their way through and turned towards the nearest group of people, the group of you. Everybody, before you roll me initiative, Reginald, as you see one of them come around the corner right next to you. He's tall, maybe 6 foot tall, long frog-like fingers, webbed toes, incredibly strange lanky specters. Everything stops. You again see this flow around you where you can ride or destabilize.
I can ride or destabilize. It's a good choice of words.
Or ignore entirely. Here's
No,
the third option.
I am going to, because I believe last time
You destabilized it.
No, I think I just let everything happen to see if I should have. But I think this, right? Isn't that what I did last?
Pretty sure you destabilized it last time. You went
I
chaos mode because you got the automatic. You rolled and then you got the automatic one.
I am going to. Oh, I have that on here. That's my thing.
That's your actual power. This is like that's on your sheet.
What? So what? I can't remember. It is.
It's your initiative thing.
Yes.
Every time you roll initiative, you get to make this choice.
And I get one of them's like a safe one. That's like,
Yeah,
like a 10.
there's either like you just get 10 and you don't roll.
Yeah.
You roll normally, or you basically roll a 50-50. If you roll a 10 or lower, you get a 1. If you roll an 11 or higher, you get a 19. So
I'm gonna take the third one.
Go
that's
for it.
destabilized, baby. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
And as you go to destabilize the time stream, you see coming around the corner a different creature. Amongst these green specters, a bright blue figure floats around. Seemingly made of constellations and star matter, an eyeball, 4 limbs, pulling itself around the corner towards you. You quickly reach out, destabilize everything, and as time shoots forward, it fizzles and disappears, leaving the rest of the scene moving around you. Roll me d20.
15.
So it's a 19. So you rolled a 19 for your perception for initiative.
Okay.
So what's the total?
So 19 plus 16 would be 35.
That's pretty good. Chrono Skimmer. How about you, Marius?
30.
30.
Oh wait, 31 if it is seeking or is that
I don't
scouting?
think
No
it
one's
was scouting.
scouting.
Oh, yeah,
Trey.
20.
It was very abrupt. Candy.
9 on the die, 25.
25. Very 20, 25, 30, 35.
40.
Even
Go ahead and roll.
increments.
Now all of the enemies 40, 45, 50, 50.
55.
All of the spooky green ghosts.
Something gets a 55 against us on initiative. It's time to wake up and just pretend it didn't
man.
happen.
Spooky green ghosts got a 21. They're right in there.
Like it.
So as the time stream continues and everything shoots back into motion, you feel yourself moving as everything from this frozen state slowly starts to come back, and you are at full capacity. You are first.
I will devise a stratagem.
What are your leads right now?
My leads. I don't. Was there a way to even make it any of this stuff? Or
You made it find the idol.
yes, I did have anything about the idol.
If your lead is find the idol, these are related to the subject of your lead, and devise a stratagem as a free action.
Oh, sweet.
So,
Your case, rather, not your lead.
correct. Parry is an action as well.
Yeah, one action to give yourself that bonus.
Okay.
AC.
So then I will. Let's see. I have devised a stratagem. I will attack.
Okay. Yeah, so you're devising a stratagem for the one that's right next to you, probably?
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
And which is, I guess. Well, I devise a stratagem. I'll roll for the devise a stratagem, which I think I want to take that. I don't know. So yeah, I will. It's a 28 to hit.
Okay, you just immediately using it? 28 will hit?
Yeah. So I will attack this person, and so it is.
So as you lash out, you do strike. MD's not even here. And, his spirit lives on in the chair's curse. You strike out towards this thing, and the magic imbued by the runes in your cane sword lets you kind of strike out. It doesn't, not do nothing to the essence of these things, but your blade flicks straight through them as if they were just.
So it didn't even hurt
spears
them?
Plunging towards you. It hurts them, but they are immune to precision damage, which means you don't get the bonus strategic strike. You just get your regular weapon damage.
So I don't even. The device stratagem is nothing. Boo.
Yes.
Oh, man.
It gives you int to attack. That's not nothing.
It does mean you hit for 2d6 plus 7.
It's +7?
Because you get your intelligence, right?
Yeah, it gives you intelligence to damage. You still get that. You
Okay.
just don't get the bonus strategic strike to
Why does it have
3d6
just
or
say
whatever. You just don't get that.
All right.
It says +3 because without using that, you hit for +3.
Okay, so it's actually really...
Yeah, on your strategic strike, it's 7. So you do still get the intelligence to attack and damage.
All right, so I'm just rolling 2d6 plus 7.
Yep.
That's the damage?
Yep.
Then that is 11 damage.
Alrighty.
That was...
Now you do... This is a cane sword of slashing or piercing?
The cane sword is piercing.
So as you stab it out, you do feel like it does resist that. It takes less than 11.
Okay. My
Isn't it?
second... Can I... If I move, is that like an opportunity attack if I move?
In second edition, that's not a baseline thing. You have no idea who
Sure.
has
Okay.
attacks of opportunity.
Um,
It's anyone that seems like it's given to people that are like actually trained fighters. 'Cause it's like it's a fighter feature
Yeah.
by default. So if you haven't seen these guys move much, they look like they're just wildly running amok. You're not sure. You can take one for the team and find out.
I am going to... I will move away and then parry. I'll move away up. There's like the crates right next to the, I think, the lady with the
Okay.
loot.
Just kind of back behind. you
Yes.
guys.
Yep.
As you move away, they certainly don't appear to do anything.
Okay. And so that's 1, 2, and then I will
Parry.
parry, which
Then-
gives me a +1.
Yeah, holding the sheath up defensively becomes a Marius.
Okay.
You kind of around the corner as you hear the screams, and you see people being cut down as these 4 spirits are the ones closest to you that are coming towards you, but there are dozens of them pouring through the windows, up from the lake, around the walls, and just sweeping through this place.
Oof, okay. I want to make a little bit of distance, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to get. At the very least, I think I want to run to the opposite side of the room I'm on.
Fair enough. Kind of done by the people on the south end?
Yeah.
Alrighty. You run up towards the end, towards the windows, facing out over the lake.
And how much? Obviously, there's the exterior wall, but to our left, how much of those are actual walls versus like?
That
differences
one
in
next to
layers?
you is a staircase that's leading up into that tower, so that one's pretty high above you. That's probably like 10 feet. It's not super high, but it's 10 feet up to a staircase that's leading up into that tower farther to the left.
I'll hunt prey on the one that's on the steps because
Okay.
I think I got line of sight
The
on
one,
that
yeah,
one
you
at
can
least.
I'd give him lesser cover, but
Okay.
that's just a +1.
Well, fine then. I'll do the.
What if he
I'll
doesn't
do
get
hunter's aim so that I can ignore the concealed condition.
But he's not
Don't you
concealed.
feel foolish?
I feel like it's cover, not concealed.
Natural 1.
Hey!
Irrelevant.
It's concealed now.
This gets
It's concealed now.
That arrow goes flying. Cammy, we come to you.
Okay. So firstly, I was
Got other things
detecting
on my mind.
knowledge.
Detecting
Recalling knowledge. I was detecting knowledge.
Detecting
Trying
knowledge.
to
Recalling
find
magic.
some.
What's your occultism?
My occultism is. Oh, actually, isn't it 1 higher now because I've got this
Oh, I think
crown
your
on?
crown does give you a little bit of a bow. It doesn't matter. I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
so-
Excellent.
Irrelevant.
Good.
So-
Go ahead and hand me your notes.
Just probably just drop that. On the Strange Aeons
Fork 'em
D22.
over.
These
Okay.
are funny little guys.
Looking at these and seeing how Reginald's strike passes through them, you've seen spirits at this
Yep.
point. You've dealt with a lot of them. And then looking down as these appear, you also see that your ring has started to glow, started to emanate energy as they all
Oh, that's right.
burst
Yes.
through. These are ghosts. And as far as you can tell from how they move, they are just ghosts. They're just not human ghosts. You don't know anything about what this race is, but these are definitely the same as far as you can see, the same as basically any other ghost that you have fought. Looking at them, they bear no weapons, they have no armor, and just thinking and focusing as this attack, the moment you have this attack starts, you do hear incantations around the walls. They are all casters.
Oh gosh, that's bad. Okay, and then I would have one more.
With a natural 20, I would say incantations, and the sounds they're making, you don't know the words, but they sound like prayers.
Okay. And my next question would be, AJ, do all frogs go to heaven?
We'll find out.
All right. Well, there's no use beating around the bush here.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna send it. So,
Gonna start blasting.
sort of taking in this scene, hearing the incantations, realizing this is about to get really serious. As Marius is heading over to the other side of the room, I'm gonna kind of tap him and be like, "Get a good position." That's gonna be stoke the heart for you. I don't need that. No.
What's the range on that?
30 feet.
Oh, it's exactly how far away it is.
Yes. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it
Why
is.
are you handing this to me?
I'm
So you
good
can
to
pass it
pass
around.
that way.
I thought he was just gonna be like, I have it.
You can read it to
I
him.
was gonna read it.
And then, listen, a whole party of casters? That's crazy, dude.
It would be
To
a shame
kill
if they
you about
exploded.
that. I'm going to look at that room. I'm going to try my best to angle this so maybe I'm not getting quite so many of these sort of people standing on the outside of where a 20-foot
The room where
burst
the
would
four
be.
of them are coming in,
Yeah.
anyone that hasn't fled from that place is because they have already been stricken down.
Well, I feel less bad now because a 20-foot burst, 20-foot
Take your time.
20-foot burst will occur.
20-foot boost.
20-foot burp.
And erupting from the far corner of that room, a blast that engulfs all four of these frog-like spirits. Doing what?
Divine immolation.
Ah!
I'm going to need a reflex save.
There!
And it's spirit damage if it would be more detrimental.
It is.
Sure would! They'll take all of that.
Pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think spirits get damaged by spirits.
Did I hear-
This way. So, saving throws
Yes.
from left to right
Okay.
on the frogs.
Oh, look, the
Ooh,
sun.
whoa.
18,
18.
Oh.
Hey, that
Oh.
fails.
32,
Okay, that just succeeds.
25,
That fails.
20,
Doesn't the first one critically fail?
What was it, 18?
18.
Are you 29?
I'm 27.
So 3
Close, though.
failures.
It is
Yeah,
close.
one more
3
level.
failures.
Three
The one at
fails
the
is
bottom of the
really
stairs
good.
succeeds. All 3 of the other ones fail.
Okay, so the
They are divinely being immolated.
that is really good. Okay, so the one that succeeds is going to be half damage and no persistent. The other one's
Okay.
full and persistent. Yes,
You're gonna
nervous.
need a lot of d6s.
I am going to need a lot.
How many
of-
total?
6 right now, and then the persistent will happen
Yeah.
On their
later.
turn, yeah.
All right.
This
Ooh,
is not
there's
good.
3 6s. So there's 10. What's that? 22 plus 27 damage.
Okay.
Against it
27
says spirit if it would be
spirit.
more detrimental.
It sure is more detrimental.
And then all of
then-
them are taking persistent.
No,
And so
except for
that's-
the one that succeeded.
That's 13 on the one on the stairs, 27.
And
so
I'll see him
what,
on-
that's like 100 damage across the 4 frogs here?
Value.
Yes! That's awesome!
And you see all of them, since this is spirit damage, it impacts them like a bomb. The spirits being thrown aside by the force of a blast. As some of them crash into walls, the ones on the stairs stumble. The one nearest the bottom of the stairs, even that's regularly succeed, just kind of trips, scrambling for the stairs to continue upward as it fixes its gaze on you.
Yeah.
Hi. I don't have a reaction yet.
A lot of things are about to happen because
Okay.
forecasters are about to go.
Yep.
So, the
oh,
one
no,
in the
this is
front,
so bad.
the one in the front, as it takes this, looks like you see it kind of fizzle and fade, almost like a TV with a poor signal. The whole spirit warbling and splitting. It reaches out with both hands, and a pulse of green energy shoots out across the three of you and the couple retreating, fleeing party goers. Some of which are jumping over the banister next to you to get
Just
down
don't
to where
say
you
will,
come in.
please.
Will save from
Oh,
everybody.
you just
Everybody?
Not you, Marius.
Yay.
Everybody else.
not you. You
We'll
found
save
your
the three in the
special
corner.
corner.
Which with parry up, do I get any plus to
Perry
that?
doesn't help you on the will save. No,
Would
it's
you-
not blocking
Nope, I
anything
got it in the
physically.
hole.
Would you say I'm about to take damage?
No,
Really? Okay.
this does not deal damage.
What's the critical
you
fail
and I
effect?
should think about that.
Out of
I think,
26.
yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't want to critically fail the first save.
Oh gosh. We both had a 3 and a 2. So
Poggers.
I would like
Cool.
to thank
25.
Corey actually. Thank
Corey.
you. Thank you, Corey. As I try and steel myself against this blast. It's better than
That's
it
literally
was.
3 times better.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we get what we get, and we don't throw a fit, and that's 22.
So a 25 and a 22.
Oh no.
And a 26.
22. So all three of you feel something overwhelm you. It is a truly oppressive
Is it a fear effect?
feeling. It is not fear. No.
Okay.
It's not fear that overwhelms you. It is loss. It is sorrow. It is an absolute anguish, as if everyone that you have ever known and loved has just been taken away from you. That's it for now.
I gotta roll my funny hee-hoo dice.
You don't, actually. As these pop in, you don't feel any overwhelming rage here. You feel focused.
Okay.
And then he is going to, just because he's right there, step forward up to you. The second one, back on the stairs. And it's the one who caught himself, didn't take the worst of this, is going to turn towards Cammy. And then pull his hands closed and then together. Make a will save.
Is this one gonna cause me damage?
Sure is.
Okay, I would like to try and go
This
away.
is you specifically.
He doesn't like what you did.
Yep, I don't like him. I'm sticking.
Okay.
I'm sticking around. Here comes the will save.
I thought that was your will save
Who's
at
will
first.
for sure?
Will save. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It is my best save. I rolled a 16. That happens to be my modifier, so it's a 32.
32 is a regular success.
Okay.
So you will shake off the worst of it. You
That's good news.
are frightened one,
Okay.
and
I
you
think
take,
that's accurate.
you take 14 points of mental damage
Okay.
as you feel not just loss but now fear start to set in.
Oh, we all have a +1 against fear saves.
Okay, still
Just it
33
doesn't change.
then.
still
that.
a regular.
Yeah.
regular success. And then he is going to rush up towards you and Reggie. The one further back in the corner is then going to say something and do exactly the same motion. Make another will.
Oh
save.
my gosh. Okay. With a thanks.
And a -1.
And a -1.
Oh yeah, you're frightened now, so kind of a wash.
Okay.
Ooh boy.
Okay, Nebula
Yeah.
315 is actually my best friend. I don't know if I told you guys about this.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You pressed in the chat. That's really cool.
She's so close to me that she actually gave me my favorite card because it's the Spirit Blast one. Not that
We
that
have
could
the-
do that for me now, but it is going to help me as I try not to cry while another one comes to get me. I'm definitely rolling the 4. It's
That's
better
better.
than it was.
What do you got?
Oh gosh, it is. It's a 23.
23 is a failure.
Yeah.
You are now frightened 2,
Okay.
as this one sets in a lot more severely.
They're stacking.
.31 points of mental damage.
Okay. Not doing so hot.
That one is going to rush up to the stairs. The fourth is going to move a little down to the side, next to an altar that is inset near the doorway that leads out towards the back veranda here, and put his hands out to his side, close his eyes, and again, this sounds like prayer to you as he slowly raises his hands up, and you see green energy start to coalesce and whirl around the floor at your feet. Reginald, Trey, and Cameron. Before more of these green webbed hands, spectral, just start to reach up, grasping and swiping at you, emerging from the stone itself. I need a will save from the three of you. You ever fight a horde of casters before?
So bad.
What's the critical fail effect?
Oh, we're rolling
Because
so
I rolled
bad.
a 16.
24.
16 total?
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Regular failure.
Wow.
24.
Oh, wait, no, minus
24, regular success.
It's not a fear effect.
24 also.
Regular success. So,
With your -2.
two of you taking full, one of you taking half.
No, it's -2. This isn't fear.
Oh, it isn't. Oh,
So it's-
23. Sorry, it wasn't fear.
It's not fair.
Okay,
That's a
23.
regular failure too.
Okay.
So you two will take 8 points of split mental and negative damage. Reginald, you're only taking 4. But the hands are still there. They are filling the north end of this mezzanine here. This area where the three of you are, but not reaching down into the section that Marius is in. And then that is the turn of Trey.
That could have been worse, I suppose.
That could have been way worse. I
And that
think.
can be persistent damage,
Yes.
which
yes.
is persistent spirit because it's worse.
Yes.
2d6 persistent.
7.
Does it go away?
First guy's dead. That's a 7
Oh,
persistent
really?
damage. Absolutely going to evaporate the first ghost.
That's awesome.
The
Okay.
sticker right up next to Trey
That's gonna be a ghost of the ghost.
is just gone.
What happens when you make a ghost of a ghost?
The other two are going to take 7 more points of damage. And the one on the stairs is going to overcome the persistent damage. The one at the bottom that's channeling these spirits coming out of the ground is not. He's still taking it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
funny.
We've gotten mileage out of this thing.
Funny he
Oh,
who
yeah.
battle cry on the far one,
Sure.
because why not? Oh, that's a 19 on the die. Does a 36 intimidate a ghost?
Yeah, it does. It intimidates him a lot, actually. It critically intimidates him, I would say.
Very nice. As I roar out and just kind of struggle against these grasping hands, I'm not even going to leave my square.
They're not
I'm not going to.
restraining you at all. They're just swiping and damaging. You're not held in place at all. They're just
Then I
hurting.
will leave my square.
They are spectral. You can just walk right through
Yeah,
them.
I'll move to the stairs. Just so I'm on the edge of it. I'm
You
out
can
of
reach
it.
everybody.
Exactly, and now everyone's in my reach.
Perfect poking line.
And I believe I will lash out at the far one first, the one that cast the
When
AoE.
channeling the hands.
Yeah.
Probably the channeler is a good target.
Just stepping forward and then lashing out as far as I can reach with that spear. And let's see, does a 36 cause harm to this man?
That would critically hit him, yes. That would cause critical harm to the
Well,
frog man.
how would he like a ghost touch spear? Because I installed the ghost touch rune at the last gala we were at because I stayed extra late.
That's right. You have Spider-Man with a ghost touch.
It's only in the dream, but I have
That's all it needs to be, baby. That's the place
Oh,
you
it.
are.
Max
man.
damage.
He's dead. I don't know what the number is, but it's more than the hit points that guy has.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and just tell you that one for free.
That would be 38.
Oh, he's extremely corpsed. That's not a guy anymore. You got one more action, I believe.
Yes, the one closest to me
As
will...
soon as you strike him, by the way, your ghost touch spear actually connecting and striking him down like he was flesh. The spiritual hands emanating from the ground disappear.
That's what I was hoping for. And then choking up on the spear as I pull back from that long thrust, I'll try and stab through this one and aim at the wall behind it.
Okay.
Just trying to pin it or kill it or whatever I can do as the spear will be impacting it for real.
Oh.
That's in the crack. Let's see. A 26, so 10 lower.
That hits.
Yep.
If you crit on a 36, you're on a 26.
And that will be 16 damage.
That's exact lethal for that guy on the
Are you
stairs
serious?
After the divine
Oh my
immolation
gosh!
damage. third one goes down as well, leaving just the one that is up next to Reginald. As we come back to the top here, Marius on the edge. As you take your shot and knock another arrow, you're kind of glancing around the scene around you. Is again a couple dozen of these things have emerged all over the seawall into the building from everywhere. You look back out over the lake and see two things. One, the water is no longer perfectly clear. It is gently kind of rippling, low waves coming in like an ocean tide changing. Second, you see that a small selection of these spirits have stayed back. They have gathered around a circular gazebo at the far end of this rocky outcrop over the water. 5 of them gathered around, one of them holding aloft a small green idol. All 5 of them seemingly in prayer, conducting some kind of ritual.
Okay.
Reginald.
Well, at the end of my turn, now that we can all see that because the windows are there, right?
You guys can't really see. Marius is up at the
He's
window.
like by the window.
I mean, I guess you guys are in the room with the window. You dashed away and say, Cammy Reginald maybe could kind of see it.
Well, then I'll just say,
Ignore this thing. I can slay him easily. Spread out and find the idol.
Yeah, you got one in your face. It's a little hard to ignore. He's right there.
What's that?
It's a little hard to ignore. He's in your face.
Well, knowing
through
that
it.
Cammy got hit a few times, I will with holding my hat and my cane, roughly doing a look of Willy Wonka tumble with a mixture of Gambit, going towards the corner right next to
Marius?
right next to Cammy.
And as you go to move at the top of the round here, the 3 of you that got hit by that first spell, make me another will save.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
That's a 27.
You're fine.
31.
You're fine.
30.
You're fine.
Woo!
You push this this feeling of loss down and overcome it. You tumble by into the corner here. Zoop.
Yeah, and I phase bolt that last one. I know you told me not to, but I just
doing it
figured
anyway.
it was
He's
pretty-
in my face.
Yeah, he was in my face, so I got away from him and I phase bolt towards him, which is phase
Roll an
bolt.
attack roll.
It's an attack roll, and what do I add to it? Where is it at?
Should be a plus 13.
That's I rolled a 13.
26 will hit. I mean, if you roll a 13,
Sorry,
I'm sure
it's,
you hit. I'm
plus
also
14,
sure you don't.
27.
Definitely hits.
Yep.
So what kind of damage does Phase Bolt do?
Phase.
The good kind?
Yeah.
The good kind.
And it is 7d4.
Ooh,
What?
that is so many.
That's
you need
so
more?
much.
I'll just roll. 5, 6, 10.
Well, remember, they took away flat modifiers and gave me more dice.
That's true. It's just more dice instead of the pluses.
13, a total of 18 damage.
He's taking all of it. Force damage is going to blast him and it can hit him like he's a physical person. It's not going to fast through like your sword did. And that will bring us to Marius.
Few questions.
Yes.
Do these ghosts resemble green water lizards?
Kind of yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
I
logo.
think
Same-
they're, I
same
think they're a
page, same
little,
page,
Look at a
same
logo
page.
like that.
Same
little
page.
mad
As soon as
about
I got
I was
a
going to
bonus,
say
yeah.
we should
Yeah.
look for that idol
Yeah.
before we saw that.
and I think they're the idol's outside with they've got the idol.
They got the idol?
They got the idol.
Okay.
Also, you said the word, so I have to ask. What level's the gazebo?
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
Too high. Too high for you.
Is it very dangerous
not
looking
engage.
gazebo out there? Okay. I'll hunt prey on the last one.
You
that
just see the skull icon
dealing an
instead of the
issue.
level.
Name is Red.
What
Give him
level is
a-
the gazebo? I don't.
We'll post show.
Um,
You're one of today's lucky 10,000.
What?
and I will do. I'll give him a flurry. Why
Give him a
or,
flurry. Give him a
you know,
bunch of
hunted
arrows.
shot. You know,
I mean,
you
but
know
stack them together to get past damage resistance is pretty good on a ghost.
Nope.
then.
2 and a 6.
But you,
You might still hit.
Well, it's
Probably not, but maybe.
yeah, it would be
seems a little
a
bad.
19.
Negative.
Yeah, so no, it would be a 6 or a 16 plus the even if I 22 minus 2, 20, and then another 19, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, not quite. They're low, but they're not quite that low. At least you have one action left.
One more, why not?
Do it.
One more for the road.
Yeah.
You got your extra damage right now.
Ooh, that's an 18. I think that will hit with
certainly.
13, so 31.
Oh, absolutely hits. Ooh,
Or,
that's
well, no,
not
it'd
the
be
frightened one.
29.
29 also just regular. Okay,
The
regular
frightened
hits.
one is
Frightened one
dead.
exploded. Yeah.
What's my frightened at then?
It would be.
Is it still 2?
Still 2, because
Okay, because it's from the other spell. Yeah, okay.
So it's a 7. Okay, so 9, 15, more math, 19, and this is a +2. Or, yeah, so 21.
21 points of damage, absolutely. And that arrow is going to whip through and disperse the last of the spirits that is here in the immediate vicinity of you. At the end of your turn, we were going to go to Kyonin.
Okay.
Who is very frightened.
Yes. Okay, so Marius just told me that they're outside. Where's the closest, like, is that a door over there in the
There's
room
a
we
door
just
in the room
passed
they
through?
just came through. Yeah, those all just poured through the door. Although they are specters, you can see that they're moving almost like they aren't. Like, those 4 came in through the door.
Yeah.
You can tell clearly how they're interacting with your weapons and, like, how they almost kind of pantomimed stumbling on the stairs that you're hit.
Yeah.
They don't touch any of this stuff. They're incorporeal. They could move through it. The ones climbing through the windows, you even saw one reaching up and, like, miming it was breaking it before pulling itself straight through the intact glass. But that is a doorway there, yes.
Okay. Oh, and there's no more frogs living in the room. Or not living.
Not in the immediate vicinity, no.
Okay.
There are a lot spread throughout the party.
I'm gonna start booking it for the door. Hoping to get outside, and then I'm sure then I'll see
As
the
you
ring.
move the doorway, yes, you can clearly see straight down where the ritual is being conducted, some sizable distance away. We're talking over 100 feet down at the very edge of this pier. But you can also see the ripples in the water, the waves that are coming in from what was a perfectly still surface before. And they do look not so much like waves as ripples. Like they're huge, massive, like several feet rolling walls. Now, as you look out and see this and ready whatever it is you're going to do, in the distance you see the lake itself surge upward. A couple 100 feet past this ritual, almost a sphere of water rising up and then splitting as it crashes down, revealing a massive creature in the distance. It towers up over the surface of the water, and you can tell even hundreds of feet away how truly enormous this thing is. A black, scaled, ridged water lizard emerges from the center of the lake, its attention turned towards Sarn. It is here we will
No.
end
No!
today's
No!
episode.
Can't I finish my turn? No!
The doom that comes to Sarnath is something we will see not next week, but the week after on our next episode. Y'all got 2 weeks to think about this one. Hero Fun, a generosity can only provide for this once, as the rest will be saved for GM later. But who? For who, Oroku-san?
For the Doom.
This scene, because it was a couple minutes early, but I don't really want to get into that with like 5 minutes left in the stream. This entire dream is a little interesting. And I told you guys, it's for Trey. Here you go, Trey. I told you guys that this is a Lovecraft adventure. It's a very directly Lovecraft adventure. And this This is the most directly Lovecraft I think Strange Aeons ever gets at any point. There is a short story called The Doom That Came to Sarnath.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a one-for-one base.
This is...
Are we allowed to go and read that just to get some
Dream
insight?
Quest is very, very straight and directly based on the doom that came to Sarnath.
Mm.
You are living through a horrible Lovecraftian nightmare that absolutely nobody wants to be involved in. And, next week we'll get to drag MD into it too.
Hey.
So he's Doom 1, the other one's Doom 2?
Oh my god.
No, he's the doomed that came to Sarnath. That's different.
Okay.
That's the sequel. But that's going to be it for us today. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Sorry we can't be here next week because, oh man, I want to do this next part. But I got to wait 2 weeks too! Check out some of our sponsors. We've got a bunch of partners down below the channel. Arc and Forge is our map-making software. And I didn't get to the cool part of what this map does, but you sure will next episode, I'll tell you that!
Oh my gosh.
And also our newest partner over at Easy Roller, provider of a huge spectrum of fancy dice, everything from the little epoxy ones with cool designs, if you don't want to spend a ton of money, to the elaborate metal and gemstone ones if you want, something to keep with you for a lifetime. Discount code UGT Show works on both those platforms and all of our other partners down below and helps us keep this show going. We'll see y'all next time. Until then, stay safe, and I'm going to preemptively apologize for what's going to happen to this. Stay sane.